solar panels will produce between 20 and 50% of the building's electric power. IKEA, which was founded in Sweden, promotes its commitment to environmental conservation and sustainability. Before the IKEA solar project went online, the largest rooftop solar array in the state was at the American Family Insurance Building in Madison. The IKEA system is expected to be surpassed later this year by a project at Madison College, also in Madison. And outside this afternoon, sunny with temperatures in the mid-80s, and then clear skies tonight, lows in the low 60s. You're listening to Resistance Radio.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, happy Monday. Or treasonous Monday, depending on your point of view, to you, my little buddy.
It's like a manic Monday. What the hell is going on, Crudy?
Dominic, I think a tweet encapsulates exactly what's going on. This one, I read to start the show. John O'Brien, former CIA director, 2013 to 2017. So that means he served under Donald Trump as the CIA director, nonpartisan American who is very concerned about our collective future. He's got almost 300,000 followers. John Brennan tweeted about 4 hours ago, Donald Trump's press conference performance in Helsinki rises to and exceeds the threshold of high crimes and misdemeanors. It was nothing short of treasonous. Not only were Trump's comments imbecilic, he is wholly in the pocket of Putin. Republican patriots, where are you? 3 question marks. Where are you?
Or as the Devil's Advocates tweeted out to start this fine show, Crudy, with our Facebook live stream here, hashtag Putin's bitch.
Trump has gone full Putin bitch.
Full on Putin bitch. I mean, if Putin would have given Trump the look, Trump would have got down on his hands and knees, rolled over, and offered his big little belly for a rub. He was so much Putin's bitch. I think Trump almost peed himself a little bit being that close to Putin.
Buddy, I don't want to get lost on some of these descriptors of just what a bitch this man was for Putin. I think let's start with the sound. Some may have been working today. Some may not have seen this joint press conference.
Is that what it was?
It was, portrayed as such. Let's jump into the sound. Let's start there. And oh yeah, big show. They're always big. Sarah Lloyd, co-chair Our Wisconsin Revolution, joins us in the happy hour. We'll come around to Wisconsin politics. We'll talk about the Wisconsin Chooses voting open now. They had a big event last night, but anyways, back to the breaking national news. Trump is Putin's bitch. Let's go to the sound. Let's start with cut 80. It's a very good start.
I think it's a good start. Very, very good start for everybody.
It went well. Very productive. Cut 81.
We had direct, open, deeply productive dialogue. Went very well.
Deeply productive. I mean, when you add the descriptor on, then you know it's true.
Was it bigly and deeply Trump? Let's keep going. Cut 82. Trump And Putin's relationship, well, it's changed, Dom. It's gotten a little closer. Cut 82.
Our relationship has never been worse than it is now. However, that changed as of about 4 hours ago. I really believe that.
I gave him a hand job and all was forgiven.
Minor detail, now is now, 4 hours ago was then. It can't be great then and terrible now. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
It was terrible up until 4 hours ago, Tom. Worst it's been. But now it's good. Now it's great. Putin feeling, quite relaxed now. Got the full release. Let's keep going. I feel quite confident, Tom. They'll meet again. Cut 83.
It's in the interest of both of our countries to continue our conversation, and we have agreed to do so. I'm sure we'll be meeting again in the future, often.
I'm not clear. It is in the best interest of the United States.
I will find you.
I will find you.
Oh, man, this is terrible.
More Donald Trump and, Putin. Glowing.
Little Putin, right? Like little Putin, dumb Putin, stupid Putin. What descriptor did he give Putin today? Oh, let's play it.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
Oh, strong and powerful Putin.
I did not do it, Donald.
Oh, wise and strong and powerful Putin.
Strong, powerful.
What? This is an adversary, right?
Well, there were 12 indicted Russians on Friday, and new indictments today. We'll get there soon.
Very powerful.
Friends of Scott Walker indicted, Tom.
What?
Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. But the election meddling, the charges against Russian nationals, governmental employees, you might call them what? Agents of the government, charged on Friday by Mueller. And, they spent a lot of time hashing it out, him and Pooty. And Pooty told him, don't worry about it, bitch. Cut 85.
I addressed directly with President Putin the issue of Russian interference in our elections. I felt this was a message best delivered in person. Spent a great deal of time talking about it.
I fluffed him up real good.
Well, and Crudy, anytime it gets to be a little hot in the kitchen, these conversations with Russian collusion, what perhaps treason, some might say, Crudy. Well, it's always then you got to just, pivot to
lock her up.
Hillary Clinton's emails.
I think it's a disgrace that we can't get Hillary Clinton's 33,000 emails. I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media.
Ooh.
Where is the server? I want to know, where is the server and what is the server saying?
Pooty Poop, what'd you guys do with the server? You remember when I said on July 27th of 2016, Russia, if you're listening, go find Hillary Clinton's emails. Well, they did. And they released them through WikiLeaks, and that's what the indictments were about on Friday, Dom. And the guy standing next to you, he's the one that gave the okay, his blessing.
Oh, he was very strong and powerful in his denial, Crudy. So, of course...
But, of course, no one except perhaps the so corrupted or so... what is he? He's either a bitch or he's corrupted at this point, and maybe both.
A corrupted bitch. Crudy, of course, you have really a couple
Such
of options
harsh language,
here.
but certainly merited.
Too bad. Too freaking bad. This is an embarrassment. Any of you Republicans that watched that press conference, if you're not asking yourself some very serious questions right now, I think you are willfully ignorant. Let's continue.
Dominic,
what do you do?
The Access Hollywood tape was an embarrassment. The fact that we elected that man.
That it came in.
This is treasonous. This goes a little beyond embarrassing moments.
Do you trust the words of the Russian president, former KGB agent, or do you trust your own guys like Dan Coates, Cut 87?
My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be, but I really do want to see the server. But I have confidence in both parties.
What? You don't see any reason why it would be? Maybe because you stood on a national stage, stared into the camera, and asked the Russians to find Hillary Clinton's emails. You specifically asked for that action. I believe you were part of that process, Donald Trump.
Well, they're still searching. They're looking for Hillary's server, and of course, Barack Obama's long-form birth certificate, Dom. They're still searching. Keep going, Fancy Bri.
I really believe that this will probably go on for a while, but I don't think it can go on without finding out what happened to the server. What happened to the servers of the Pakistani gentleman that worked on the DNC? Where are those servers? They're missing. Where are they? What happened to Hillary Clinton's emails? 33,000 emails gone, just gone.
It seems ludicrous that he's standing there next to Putin, the man that hacked or at least gave the blessing for the hacking of the DNC, the hacking of Hillary Clinton's emails. It seems quite ludicrous that he's standing there like, where could they be? Well, they're on Putin's servers now.
This is the strong president, right? America first president, right? This is the guy who mocks our allies, mocks the press, mocks everybody. 12 indictments put down by his Department of Justice against these employees of the Russian government. Their boss, he's standing next to, has no bad descriptors, no terrible words to say about him. You know whose fault this entire stuff is? Well, of course, it's America's fault.
No, it's Obama's fault. All happened while Obama was the president. Now he's just trying to make America great again.
No, he literally blamed, and I will have to find the specific tweet before he went into that meeting, the history here. It's our fault. Foolishness. It's our fault. Our foes, the EU. I mean, this guy is so much in bed with Putin. How can a Republican, I'd love to hear it, any Republican all day, 844-967-2789. Tell me what you think about this man's reaction while he stands next to Putin. How is this okay?
Cut 89.
I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. And what he did is an incredible offer. Oh. He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer.
Before we run out of time in this segment, let's get at least one more in. No collusion. Cut 90.
The main thing, and we discussed this also, is zero collusion, and it has had a negative impact upon the relationship of the two largest nuclear powers in the world.
Oh, it's the investigation that's the problem, not the fact that the man you're standing next to right now, Mr. Tough Guy Trump, the guy you're standing next to right now is responsible for that action. Yet you cannot admonish him for that. You cannot request that they extradite the individuals. You cannot, in front of the entire world media, say you did it and don't you dare do it again. Why? Where is the strength? Where is the fortitude, the Constitution, the America first, Donald Trump?
Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. I didn't know you were going to get so angry.
I'm a little angry.
Just because I treat you like my Putinist bitch.
That's not the Gimp anymore, man. It's the Trump.
It's the Trump. Come back with us. 844-967-2789. Our president, he has been compromised. Righties, tell me it's not true. It's true. Face it, it's true. 844-967-2789. Call or text works.
I hope it's not true, but it looks like it is. Strong, powerful. Then it came in and out. It came in 3 times. Very powerful.
Here at Bounce Milwaukee, we not only want families and friends to build connections, we also want to grow those connections in our community. That's why every Wednesday night from 5 to 8 p.m., we host Refuel the Resistance. It's a great chance to have a drink in our arcade bar, try something from our fantastic restaurant, connect with progressive activists, and support local organizations. For more information about Bounce Milwaukee's Refuel the Resistance, visit us at bouncemilwaukee.com or call 414-312-4357.
Have a drink at Regano's Roman Coin. This neighborhood corner tavern is as classic as the street it occupies. Family owned and operated since 1966, Regano's Roman Coin is located in a former Pabst Tide House on historic Brady Street, serving an array of craft beers with a focus on Wisconsin breweries. Also, weekly drink specials, trivia on Wednesdays, seasonal sporting events, parties hosted for all occasions, and pet friendly. Open 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, closed on Monday. Regano's Roman Coin, Milwaukee's pet friendly, cash only order and classic corner tavern.
I'm afraid right now for the future of my children's generation and those to come.
In this age of mass school shootings, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker offers the same bold agenda of the National Rifle Association.
Make sure you remember in your thoughts and more importantly in your prayers.
While Walker offers platitudes, he blocks meaningful gun safety legislation.
It's really an honor to work with the NRA not only in my state but across the country. And I'm proud of my A+ ranking as a governor.
Walker weakened the gun laws in Wisconsin, and then he got $3.5 million worth of NRA support.
There have been men and women of courage who've been willing to stand up and think more about the future of their children and their grandchildren than they thought about their own futures.
Scott Walker, you are not one of them. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
I'm Andy Buck, Field Representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPATDC7.com and finish strong.
Excuse me, I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me, get granular, keep me in the pipeline. But nada, nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, I'm Daryl Ingram of News Talk 1510 WRRD, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio, and I am the Director of Advertising and Marketing. The pride of our independent stands runs deep in all that we do here at the station. The thing that I know for sure is that you can count on the quality and independent production of client advertising, mirroring the quality and independence of our fine programming here at News Talk 1510. To learn more, contact me at 414-335-0851 or via email at daryl@newstalk1510am.com.
60% of the time, they're right every time. Dom and Krutz are the Devil's Advocates.
And welcome back to the Devil's Advocates radio show, live on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, streaming on the YouTube and Facebook pages. We're on Twitter at Devil Radio, and the party line. Talk or text 844-967-2789. Any and all Trump supporters, please give us a call. Let us know your thoughts on the presser with Putin and his, well, bitch, Trump.
A U.S. official being reported by CNN, this was not the plan.
There was a plan?
Full Putin bitch, apparently not the U.S. plan for this little joint press conference.
Crudy, we brought it up, a tweet from Trump 14 hours ago, and this is really what got it going for me today. and this is prior to, of course, the presser. Our relationship with Russia has never been worse, thanks to the many years of U.S. foolishness and stupidity, and now the rigged witch hunt. It's all America's fault. This is Trump's America apology tour.
You're wrecking it for me, America. Can't you tell how much I want this man? Let's get back to the sound. Donald Trump and Pootie Poot, but mostly Donald Trump, talked about zero collusion. Fancy Brian, let's move down the list. Cut 91. We've been foolish.
I hold both countries responsible. I think that the United States has been foolish. I think we've all been foolish. We should have had this dialogue a long time ago, a long time, frankly, before I got to office.
Doesn't it kind of seem like a hostage speech? You know, you see, yes, I condemn America and her actions, right? I mean, shouldn't there be literally like a gun next to the dude's head and he should be blindfolded, saying it into a scratchy VHS videotape?
Is that like saying it's the Hawaiians' fault that Pearl Harbor happened there? I mean, how was us being under attack our fault? Because we had a bad candidate? I mean, you were literally at the podium, Donald Trump, calling for this hostile action, this cyber warfare to be perpetrated upon your country.
No, it wasn't his country. It was his political rival, and that's what strong men do.
Oh, I forget. It's all good then. I take it all back. Let's keep going. North Korea, cut 92.
I am very sure that President Putin and Russia want very much to end that problem, going to work with us, and I appreciate that commitment.
Now, Putin, he's not so much of... let's just listen to Trump say it. I can't explain it to you. Cut 93.
I called him a competitor, and a good competitor he is. And I think the word competitor is a compliment.
You know, what's missing, unfortunately, some of these cuts are the questions that were specifically asked and how this president tries to spin away and bring up other issues. Let's get one more in. Of course, the Russia investigation.
But Putin is the competitor, not the adversary. The competitor.
And that's a compliment.
A friendly rival, if you will.
Yes. Cut 94, please.
The probe is a disaster for our country. I think it's kept us apart. It's kept us separated. There was no collusion at all.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the probe, me and Pootie Poot here could have a great relationship. All of my activities and all the bidding done on behalf of Putin and the Russian Federation, well, no one would know. But now we have this investigation. We have the indictment of Russian military officials and corporations. Hell, even some Russians living in the United States that are pretty well known to our own Governor Scott Walker, indicted today.
You know, when he talks about probes, Dom, that's not some GIMP stuff, is it?
You mean Trump stuff?
No, the probe stuff.
Yeah,
Trump GIMP.
Yeah,
now I'm catching on.
Now you're with me.
It is still a Monday.
Oh my, what a Monday it is.
A no collusion, hardly a traitor. Pootie, don't go rough. Go easy on me, Pootie. Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. We never go easy. 844-967-2789.
And if it is Russia, which is probably not, nobody knows who it is.
Can we call that treason? Why not?
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
5 Nines, your local single-source IT solutions provider. Specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy59s.com.
Here's how you get them. If someone invites you for a cocktail, you bring them beer. If someone invites you to dinner, you bring a casserole. That's how you make friends. That's the Wisconsin way.
Bark and Scratch Outpost. Our friendly staff is available 7 days a week to show you a variety of high-quality, local, and national brand pet foods. Be sure to visit our freezer area for a large selection of diets and bones. Bark and Scratch Outpost, 5835 West Blue Mound Road. Leashed pets are always welcome. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
Come on down, you will see. We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
So, Jesse, why should someone buying a home pay for an agent when they can go online or call the number on a for sale sign?
Great questions. First of all, never call the number on a sign to see a home. That's the seller's agent, and they don't represent your interests. If they show you a home outside of an open house, you forfeit your ability to have someone negotiate in your corner at no cost to you.
Well, with interest rates still at historic lows, how can buyers still get a great deal and protect their rights?
Step 1, find a buyer's agent that you trust. Your agent will best find the home that fits your needs, anticipate problems, and negotiate on your behalf from offer through closing day. And most home listing contracts stipulate that the seller's agent pays for the buyer's commission.
Solidarity Realty. They're real, they're solid, they're honest. Whether buying or selling in Madison or Dane County, call Solidarity Realty, 608-284-9311, or find them at solidarityrealty.com.
Josh Call, the candidate for Wisconsin Attorney General.
Do you think voter ID had a suppressive effect, not on 100 voters, but on thousands of voters, and perhaps tipped the election to Donald Trump?
This is an issue that came up at our trial. And first of all, I should thank you guys, because we actually introduced into evidence the recording of you interviewing Dale Schultz, who was talking about the passage of the voter ID law. That was one of our pieces of evidence.
I would have gotten away with it, too, if it wasn't for those meddling devil's advocates.
For Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, I'm Stu Daniels with your headlines. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum says Wisconsin's largest 25 cities face $2.25 billion in unfunded retiree health care liabilities. And an announcement is expected to be made today about a major economic development by the Foxconn Company in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Sources are saying Foxconn will open a facility of some sort in downtown Eau Claire. And outside this afternoon, sunny with temperatures in the mid-80s, and then clear skies tonight, lows in the low 60s. Sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with highs both days in the mid-70s in Milwaukee and upper 70s in Madison. You're listening to Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network.
The Devil's Advocates, because freedom.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. I'm glad it's not just us taking this opinion that this press conference was a little beyond the pale. Troubling, you might say, Dom.
Yeah, Washington Post opinion piece out right now. We're not going to get to it right now, but the headline, Trump just colluded with Russia. Another opinion piece at the Post. If you work for Trump, quit now. Another one maybe we'll get to. Trump is now repaying Putin.
President in memory, the damage inflicted by President Trump's naivete, egotism, false equivalence, and sympathy for autocrats is difficult to calculate. But it is clear that the summit in Helsinki was a tragic mistake.
Also from my Congresswoman Gwen Moore here in Wisconsin, quote, today's display in Helsinki was nothing less than a complete capitulation to a dictator who directed a cyber war on the United States' sovereignty and self-determination. Any president fit to serve would have honored his oath of office to protect the homeland by confronting Putin for his crimes and identifying his continued attacks on global democracy. Instead, President Trump yielded to Putin's will, refusing to hold him accountable for interfering in the 2016 election only days after special counsel Robert Mueller indicted 12 Russian operatives for election interference. On a global stage, President Trump betrayed his presidential duty and subverted American leadership. The repercussions of his antics are sure to be felt for the years to come. That's a Democrat. Also, Crudy, you read a conservative. This is a bipartisan rebuke of the crap show we witnessed today.
It goes beyond crap show. Crap show is the Trump presidency. This is beyond that. This is beyond, reality TV governance. This is what? Capitulation. Talking about an apology tour. Again, the only question, is he Putin's bitch or a willful co-conspirator?
He's both. Let's hear what Pooty Poot had to say, the real man in charge on that stage regarding election meddling. We're going to jump ahead a little bit here, Brian. Cut number 98. Putin, through the interpreter, responding to election meddling.
Once again, President Trump mentioned the issue of the so-called interference of Russia in the American elections. And I had to reiterate things I said several times, including during our personal contacts, that the Russian state has never interfered and is not going to interfere into internal American affairs, including election process.
I had to repeat myself several times. Oh! Of course, I colluded. It was you and I.
Where's Dr. Evil's secret lair? I'm never telling. Where's Dr. Evil's secret lair? You'll never get it out of me. Where is Dr. Evil's secret lair? Okay, now I gotta tell you. What, you deny 3 times and then you believe? Is that how it works? He was so strong and powerful. Nope, wasn't me. Come on, Vlad. Nope, wasn't me. Are you serious? That's what my guys are saying. Nope, wasn't me. Okay.
Do you know what Putin does to people? He poisons them, Don. He's a dangerous man.
Yeah.
You got to be careful around Pooty Poot. A little more Putin sound. Where did you get this idea that we trust each other? Cut
Where did
99.
You get this idea that President Trump trusts me or I trust him? He defends the interest of the United States of America, and I do defend the interest of the Russian Federation.
That I believe.
I think that is an accurate, at least as far as that part of the sentence. I don't believe that Donald Trump, by his behavior today in front of our adversary or competitor, who through his own Justice Department, the special investigator, indicted 12 military intelligence officers for that action. Today, Trump does not act in the interest of the United States. How can you say that he does after his performance today?
Is it possible that they get Trump to flip on Putin? I mean, it kind of ends with Trump, right?
Well, you assume Putin's. What are you going to do, indict Putin? Trump going to tackle him, make a citizen's arrest at the podium?
Wait, I got some information on Eric.
Oh, let's keep going, Pooty, on the 12 Russian indictments. Cut 100.
Let's get back to the issue of these 12 alleged intelligence officers of Russia. I don't know the full extent of the situation, but the President Trump mentioned this issue, and I will look into it.
I'll look into it.
I'm sure that wasn't in his prep. Because unlike Trump, I bet you Putin did some prep for this little summit meeting.
Trump has been preparing his entire life to be on this stage.
More Pooty, cut 101.
We had a good conversation with President Trump, and I hope that we start to understand each other better, and I'm grateful to Donald for it.
I told him, keep your frickin' mouth shut. You want to live? You want to keep those kneecaps? Keep your mouth shut.
And finally, on North Korea, thank you, Mr. Trump 102.
We're glad that the Korean Peninsula issue is starting to resolve. To a great extent, it was possible thanks to the personal engagement of President Trump, who opted for dialogue instead of confrontation.
I always believe in preparation.
Just another Monday at the office, doing a little radio jockey and
now, when the former CIA director Brennan comes out and says the word
beyond high crimes and misdemeanors, this is treasonous. We hang people for treason, don't we, Don?
I thought that was one of the things we did. We executed people for treason.
Now, this little piece that published at the Post predates the actual presser this morning, but I still think it's relevant, pertinent. Greg Sargent, the Morning Plum. The events of the past few days, culminating in President Trump's meeting today with Russian President Vladimir Putin, has rendered this interpretation inescapable. Trump is currently in the process of repaying Putin for helping to deliver him the presidency. Whatever comes of this meeting, even if Trump does, in fact, gain some concessions from Putin, yeah, right. And even if Putin does not get what he wants out of Trump, that storyline will remain operative. The known facts have now established it beyond any reasonable doubt. And the only alternative interpretations of that now established basic bargain that make any sense are actually more nefarious than that one. In Helsinki today, Trump and Putin spoke to reporters before entering their private meeting. Trump predicted, "I think we'll end up having an extraordinary relationship," adding that getting along with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing. But as the Post write-ups put it, Trump did not mention Russians' interference in the 2016 presidential campaign as one of the topics to be discussed. On Friday, Special Counsel Mueller indicted a dozen Russian military intelligence officials in an extraordinary and wide-ranging set of cyber attacks on Hillary Clinton's campaign and the Democratic National Committee officials, alleging a detailed plot to sabotage the election that established the clearest connection yet to the Russian government. Yet not only did Trump fail to say he'd bring up Russian sabotage of our election with Putin, he also tweeted this: "Our relationship with Russia has never been worse." You've talked about this, Tom. "Thanks to many years of U.S. foolishness and stupidity, and now the rigged witch hunt!" exclamation point.
In blaming only previous U.S. leadership and the current Mueller probe for bad relations with Russia and not Russia's attack on our democracy, which is particularly galling now that this attack has been described in great new detail.
It's like Crimea doesn't even count either, right, Tom? They just annexed Crimea.
Trump is not merely spinning in a way that benefits himself. He also is giving a gift to Putin by signaling that he will continue to do all he can to delegitimize efforts to establish the full truth about Russian interference, which in turn telegraphs that Russia can continue such efforts in the future, which U.S. intelligence officials have warned will happen in the 2018 election. That's this year. That's this election. That's going to happen now if you believe our intelligence officials. Of course, I don't think Donald Trump does. I continue in the plumb line with Greg Sargent at the Washington Post. In a sense, by doing this, Trump is colluding with such efforts right now. It has been widely pointed out that Putin benefits from today's meeting simply because it is happening. As the New York Times puts it, the meeting will be a success if it takes place without any major friction, which would provide a symbolic end to Russian efforts to isolate Russia over its actions against the Ukraine in 2014. On top of this, of course, all the other actions Trump is taking to destabilize the Western international order, to escalate the escalating trade wars, the attacks on NATO that are obviously designed to weaken it, also benefit Putin.
Buddy, there are a whole list of ways that Donald Trump is benefiting Putin. I mean, whether it's attacking... Let me put it to you this way, my righty love muffin friends. And where are you, righties? 844-967-2789. You got some splaining to do. I'm not sure what could be said that would make this plausible. In fact, I ask you this question. If he did work for Trump, work for Putin, would his behaviors be any differently?
Right.
I mean, can you demonstrate any behavior that doesn't seem to imply that Donald Trump is Putin's bitch? In all ways, shapes, or forms, this is, linear. ABC logic. I know you frickin' righties don't believe in logic. I know it's all through the partisan prism of your guy and stealing another Supreme Court justice. But ultimately, righties, if he doesn't work for Putin, how do you explain his actions? Be it NATO, be it this morning. How do you explain it? give me a plausible alternative. I will have a wide open mind.
I'll throw it out there. Donald Trump was simply being strong, but wanted to not be adversarial because he thinks in the long term it will benefit. And of course, as he tweeted out, Crudy, we just got to stop living in the past. This is about going forward, not about the past. And he says he didn't do it. I believe him. Let's just move along.
He treats everyone poorly. Talking about Donald Trump. Everyone. He treats his family poorly. I mean, he cheats on his wife. He won't even have a dog for the kid. I mean, this guy does not like humanity, even if their names are Trump. Setting aside Ivanka, wants to sleep with her. But he treats everyone poorly. I mean, John Kelly. He's trying to berate the guy out of a job. Look at the way he treats his own attorney general. These are the guys on his team, right?
Right.
These are his cabinet secretaries. That's how he treats them. I mean,
Okay, beyond the staff. What about other world
So
leaders?
why no courage
Trudeau in Canada, right?
All of them. Merkel, May.
The Queen.
The Queen.
He lost the Queen.
But Pootie Pooch.
Love him some Pootie, man.
I mean, there's absolutely no courage he has shown. Obama would have already been impeached since this morning. They would have already called the impeachment. It would have already been through the House. They'd already be trying this in the Senate this afternoon. If that was Barack Obama staying there next to Pootie Poot saying, he's a friendly rival. I consider that a compliment. He's a good guy.
The foolishness and stupidity of America. That's why we're here. And the Mueller probe. That's why our relationship with Russia is terrible. That's what the President of the United States tweeted out today before this meeting. What? Republicans?
It's my fault I made Pootie Poot slap me. I mean, I'm not sure. Isn't this a victim mentality? Well, I didn't even see, in all the accusations of apology tours, I never heard Barack Obama ever say, yeah, it was our fault. It was our fault. I shouldn't have said that. I deserve to get the backhand across the face. That's effectively what your president said today, righties. You got no qualms with that? I mean, is today the beginning of the end of the Trump presidency? I know we keep asking. But this seems to go beyond the ability of even Republicans to put some plausible spin on this. Let's go to break. Paul Ryan.
Ooh.
What'd he have to say?
He came out. He had a presser today.
Very strongly worded, I'm sure.
I did reach out to Senator Ron Johnson's team as well. Haven't gotten a confirmation or a press release yet, but if and when, we will certainly let you know. Oh, ironically enough, look at that. As I speak, the email pops up, but you're going to have to wait.
Oh,
yes.
We're not. It's short. We could share it.
Nope, it's a teaser, folks. You have to come back. Keep listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, WRD WTTN.
Isn't Johnson also on Team Putin these days?
Well, he was over there for the 4th of July holiday.
Well, that's where you spend the Independence Day.
What kind of prep?
In the mother Russia.
What was being laid down for that meeting? Come on, people. Right?
844-967-2789. Can't believe we don't have any righty friends.
Where are you?
They want to tell us how wrong we are.
So wrong.
Liberal. Witch hunt. Come on, more witch hunt. And don't forget Hillary's emails.
Oh, no, the server.
All over you. There's been no collusion, no obstruction, and virtually everybody agrees to that.
I want to thank the President of the United States for his steadfast leadership.
I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout Southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachtfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in the back of your closet. What happened to us? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Okay, maybe I never really fit you right, but I got a lot more Sunday fun days left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Live via phone, he is former U.S. Attorney Jim Santel.
Firing Bob Mueller doesn't mean that the prosecution, the investigation goes away. Pardoning one individual does not mean that you undo everything that has been done before. So this notion that somehow by shutting down and by pardoning and by sort of stopping the process, you're also stopping the wheels of justice is simply, again, it's simply wrong.
The Devil's Advocates, weekday afternoons on 1510 AM, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio.
Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We've got a patented system. We also do another step that most people don't do. We have a double rotating brush machine that we use when we pre-treat the carpet. So this helps dig up any of that stuff that's deeper in your carpet that the vacuum doesn't get. We're going to provide that intermediary step before we clean with our empowered water.
Call Zero Res today, 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
Hi, Resistance Radio listeners. This is Kim Schrader, the president of the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association. We are the 4,600 educators who make Milwaukee's public education system possible. MTA members are the guardians of public education because every single day we are fighting to strengthen and protect public schools our students deserve. MTA educators are leading the fight in Milwaukee public schools for smaller class sizes, more recess, physical education, art, and music opportunities for every child in MPS. MTA educators are the champions for healthier school meals, positive discipline practices, equitable schools, and schools that partner with parents. MTA members are the guardians of public education, and we are proud to teach all children, regardless of their zip code. To learn more, follow us on Facebook at the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association.
Jeff's Guitar Clinic is a multifaceted shop offering guitars, amplifiers, and all accessories, guitar lessons for all ages, and instrument repair of the highest quality. Jeff'sGuitar.com.
5 your local single-source IT solutions provider. Specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy59s.com.
Charged, never convicted. Dom and Croat are the Devil's Advocates.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network. Streaming live on the YouTube and Facebook pages, on Twitter at Devil Radio, and the party line for all of our conservative friends. Of course, you know you progressives are welcome anytime. I'd love to hear some conservatives, some Republicans, hell, even independents who supported Trump. Where are you at now? What do you think about his conduct today representing this country with our competitor, Russians, Putin?
Dominic, Trump lost the Drudge Report today. The Drudge Report calls it Putin dominates in Helsinki, of course.
Oh, if you lose Drudge, can you keep the conservatives?
I mean, that's not so much different than our headline that Trump is Putin's bitch.
Hashtag Putin's bitch.
We asked the question. I asked the question aloud. What did Paul Ryan say? Bill Glauber reports at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Still a Monday. I apologize. House Speaker Paul Ryan issued a stinging rebuke Monday. Stinging, Dom.
Ooh.
After Russian President Vladimir Putin declared that his country did not interfere in the 2016 elections. Ryan also criticized President Donald Trump and said the president must appreciate that Russia is not our ally.
I don't think he does appreciate it.
The stunning statement was issued by the Speaker's office after Putin met with Trump in Helsinki, followed by the two leaders' joint, I can't say it on the radio, let's call it news conference. I've got the Johnson, but why don't you do the Johnson?
We did reach out to our senator from Wisconsin, Ron Johnson, today, of course, a Republican and head of the Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs. Homeland security, like cyber war, that kind of thing. Here is what Johnson said today. Our deteriorating relationship with Russia has but one cause: Russia's bad behavior. The list is long. The invasion of Georgia and eastern Ukraine, the illegal annexation of Crimea, political assassinations, the downing of MH17, Russia's complicity in the slaughter in Syria, and Russian meddling in our elections and the politics of other nations, to name just a few. As much as I would prefer a better relationship with Russia, it can only happen as the result of improved Russian behavior. U.S. foreign policy should be uniformly directed to achieve that objective. I urge President Trump to forcefully and repeatedly demand that Putin regime dramatically improve its behavior.
Got a quick tweet from Senator Tammy Baldwin. Putin directed an attack on our American democracy, and Russia interfered with our elections. President Trump needs to stop treating Putin like a friend and start holding him accountable. Instead of standing with Putin, the president should stand up for America and our democracy. That, of course, Tammy Baldwin. Here's one. Theo Keefe, a question asked of Scott Walker in Sussex. The question: I don't see any reason why Russia meddled. That's the statement from Donald Trump. Scott Walker's response: I'll leave that up to federal folks. That's not in my jurisdiction.
Oh, except he did meet with some Russian operatives.
Oh, you mean Scott Walker?
Yeah.
One charged with spying today on behalf of the Russian government? That's Scott Walker?
Yeah, the one who greeted her in Russian.
Let's talk about that. Let's come right back. Time for some Walker bashing. Russian collusion style. More Devil's Advocates on the other side.
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
I can't believe you fell for the oldest trick in the book. What's with you, man? Come on.
Have you outgrown your house? Are you sick of apartment living? Not ready to buy but know you need to move? Hi, folks. This is Tom Hartman for CCL Management in Middleton. You should consider moving up to one of the finer rental homes CCL Management represents. Unique houses and condos, always clean. Most are pet-friendly. Visit cclmanagement.com today to find your new home. CCL Management, Dane County's premier leasing and property management company.
Call CCL Management at 833-0009. That's 833-0009. Or visit cclmanagement.com today.
I would like to thank you, President Trump. I also want to express my thanks to Governor Walker.
Foxconn CEO Terry Goh is thankful to the Republicans who delivered his $4.5 billion in corporate welfare.
Thank you to Foxconn.
Scott Walker thanks the foreign corporation who received the largest corporate welfare subsidy in history.
Thank you, Mr. President.
What about thanking the hardworking Wisconsin taxpayers you saddled with a generation of debt for a project that may never be paid back?
People should be rushing to me and patting my back and say, hey, thank you, Mr. Foxconn.
Call Governor Scott Walker at 608-266-1212 and tell him no thank you to corporate welfare, no thank you to environmental rollbacks, no thank you to a project that may never be paid back, no thank you to Foxconn. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
J.D. Davis Funeral Home, located at 4803 West Burlott Street, is dedicated, dignified, and distinguished in serving you in your time of need. Direct cremation specials starting at a very low cost of $595. That does not include cremation permit or crematory fee. Traditional funeral packages starting at $1,995 with a 20-gauge metal casket included. Title 19, Milwaukee County General Assistance accepted. Call today, 414-444-8300.
You are listening to 1510 AM WRRD Waukesha, Milwaukee, and 1580 AM WTTN Columbus, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network.
Special report, Trump-Putin meeting.
President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today.
President Trump in Helsinki taking the word of Russian President Vladimir Putin over his own hand-picked intelligence chiefs who are insisting even this afternoon that Russia interfered in the 2016 election and are doing it again this year. The only members of the Republican congressional leadership to go public, including House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Leader Mitch McConnell, have been critical of Trump. Texas Republican Congressman and former CIA officer Will Hurd says Putin is formidable when it comes to disinformation.
I've seen the Russian intelligence and manipulate many people in my career, and I never would have thought the U.S. president would be one of them.
Putin was asked after their private meeting if he wanted Trump to win in 2016. The interpreter responding for him.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
That was the meeting in Helsinki, a 2-hour private meeting. I'm Michael Toscano. In Hawaii, an explosion sent lava flying through the roof of a tour boat off the Big Island, injuring at least 13 people with burns and scrapes, one woman seriously injured. The lava coming from the Kilauea volcano, which has been erupting since early May. A federal judge in San Diego forcing the Trump administration to temporarily stop the deportation of reunited immigrant families so things can get sorted out.
There are hundreds of parents whose whereabouts are unknown. They're either still in custody, released, or already deported. The worst part, says ACLU attorney Lee Gallant, is that there are 71 kids who their parents even are is unknown.
Beyond imagination that they've taken these children away and haven't kept track of who their parents are.
While the government assured the judge that the kids are being well taken care of, the judge said that's not the issue. The issue of concern, he says, is the passage of time. I'm Jim Roop.
35 wildfires burning in western states, dry weather and heavy winds resulting in danger warnings. I'm Michael Toscano.
What interest?
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Resistance is live 7 days a week here on 1510 AM WRRD, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio. Tune in Saturdays for Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk with Dr. Tim Slecker, 11 a.m. to noon. Then it's the voice of the voiceless, champion of the working class. Earl Ingram's Saturday show is live from 12 to 3 p.m. Then Right Meets Left with the Joel and Joe Costa Show. Republican State Rep Joel Clayfish and Democratic State Rep Joe Costa Zamaripa go toe-to-toe from 3 to 4. Always streaming at newstalk1510am.com, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio.
To impose broader tariffs on China's exports is drawing a new response from Beijing.
In a move that could deepen and prolong a trade war between China and the U.S., a Chinese government website announced that they're taking their trade grievances with the United States to the World Trade Organization. China is protesting the Trump administration's plan to impose an additional 10% tariff on $200 billion worth of their exports. The goods range from seafood to building materials to consumer products, 6,000 in all. China argues that this would amount to illegal attempts at protectionism. President Trump insists that tariffs will get China to stop unfair trade practices and their use of U.S. intellectual property. I'm Steve Kastenbaum.
Stocks began the trading week on Wall Street by ending the day mixed at the closing bell. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 44.
Single source IT solutions provider, specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy59s.com.
Everybody buckle up.
Mom.
Buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store? Mom,
buckle
can we get
up.
some ice cream?
Everybody buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but you're in control. So only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
For Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, I'm Stu Daniels with your headlines. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum says Wisconsin's largest 25 cities face $2.25 billion in unfunded retiree health care liabilities. And an announcement is expected to be made today about a major economic development by the Foxconn company in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Sources are saying Foxconn will open a facility of some sort in downtown Eau Claire. And outside this afternoon, sunny with temperatures in the mid-80s, and then clear skies tonight, lows in the low 60s. Sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with highs both days in the mid-70s in Milwaukee and upper 70s in Madison. You're listening to Resistance Radio.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the Devil's Advocates radio show. Sort of a bad news cycle, you might say, for Donald Trump.
What?
Or as we like to call him now, Putin's bitch.
Putin's bitch. Hashtag Putin's bitch.
But Fox has still got a few Trump's bitches on the panel. Greg Gutfeld, you know, the guy from The Five, called Trump the real hope and change president.
People keep hoping he changes.
But he was overall complimentary. But as we noted, while Trump has lost the Drudge Report, he may have also lost Geraldo, Dom.
Oh, man, when you lose Geraldo, it's a steep fall from there.
You know who else is having a really bad news day? And the greater media may not have taken note, but Dom and Crew, we noticed right away this breaking news that there had been a arrest of a Russian spy, Maria Butina. And we've talked about Maria Butina before, Dom. In fact, the top of our Facebook page right now features a photo of Maria Butina and
Alexander Torshin.
And Scott Walker, the governor of the state of Wisconsin, because he has ties to the Russian spy that was arrested and apparently, booked in last night and apparently in court today.
From the Washington Post, Tom Jackson, a Russian national with alleged ties to a top Russian official, was charged in federal court in Washington Monday with conspiracy to act as an agent of the Russian Federation and was ordered held without bond. Maria Butina, 29, was arrested Sunday in the district, and she made her first appearance in U.S. District Court before Magistrate Judge Deborah Robinson. Her attorney, Robert Neal Driscoll, told the judge that Butina's residence was searched by the FBI in April, that she had testified before the Senate Intelligence Committee in a closed session several months ago, and that, quote, "we have been offering to cooperate with the government the entire time," unquote. Butina did not speak during the brief hearing other than to state her name. A detention hearing and preliminary hearing were set for Wednesday. The charges against Butina come days after the Justice Department unveiled an indictment against 12 Russian intelligence officers for allegedly conspiring to hack Democrats in 2016, just hours after Trump cast doubt on Russia's involvement in an extraordinary joint news conference with President Putin. Butina is accused of developing relationships, Crudy, with American politicians and, quote, a gun rights organization. None of which were named in the affidavit supporting the criminal complaint. FBI Special Agent Kevin Helson wrote that Butina was attempting to establish a back-channel communication for representatives of the government of Russia. The affidavit also contains apparent communications by direct messages on Twitter between Butina and the unnamed Russian official. Your political star has risen in the sky, the official told Butina. Now it is important to rise to the zenith and not fall prematurely. They later discussed the Russia-USA Friendship Society.
Falling prematurely to the ground, they're thinking of the presidential campaign of Scott Walker, which is the point at which he is connected with the now charged and arrested Russian spy, Maria Butina. Let's not forget the current governor of the state of Wisconsin was a failed presidential candidate, but not initially, Dom. Initially, he was the choice of Christian conservatives in Iowa. He was a leader in the opinion polling. And Butina met him at an NRA convention, I believe, first originally reported by David Corn at the Mother Jones. And when Scott Walker greeted this woman from Russia, now charged as a spy, this woman with the organization called the Right to Bear Arms, you get it, Russian Bear, only they don't have a Second Amendment. They're against weapons there. And here in the United States, Dom, the NRA perhaps complicit in the funneling of $32 million in foreign dollars to the candidacy of Donald Trump. I assert, had Scott Walker only been a stronger candidate, it would have been him colluding with the Russians.
Crudy, let's continue on the Post piece. Butina's attorney, Driscoll, said during the hearing that Butina had recently earned a master's degree in international relations from American University.
She's not a spy. She's a college kid just working her way through school.
Marina Butina is not an agent of the Russian Federation, Driscoll said in a statement after the hearing. He says she has been cooperating with the various government entities for months regarding public allegations related to her contacts with various American and Russian individuals, testified for 8 hours before the Intelligence Committee, and provided thousands of documents. The substance of the charge in the complaint is overblown, her attorney said. He said the government was attempting to make such actions as attending a prayer breakfast into nefarious acts when Butina was merely networking to develop relationships with Americans, like Scott Walker. Butina, a former Siberian furniture owner, founded a Russian gun rights group called the Right to Bear Arms and became an assistant to Russian central banker and former Senator Alexander Torshin, who is a lifetime member of the NRA. She began reaching out to NRA members and other American gun enthusiasts in 2013 on several occasions, hosting NRA executives and gun activists in Moscow, including one delegation that included former Milwaukee Sheriff David Clarke.
Sheriff David A. Clarke Jr.?
Yeah.
Oh, let's not forget, David A. Clarke Jr. wanted to join the Trump administration.
But he couldn't for some reason.
I don't know why, Don.
It was like they offered and then withdrew, and he actually gave his resignation and then never got hired.
And then he went to work for a Trump super PAC and divorced his wife. I've got some of the details, Don.
All right, lay it on me.
Mother Jones piece, David Corn, introductions in a new gun group. Let's do a timeline briefly, Dom. 2011, Torshin, then a Russian senator, is introduced to NRA President David Keene through G. Klein Preston IV. Yeah, the one that works for Marsha Blackburn, also has connections with Scott Walker, a lawyer from Nashville, Tennessee, who had been doing business in Russia for years. Preston later tells the Washington Post, the value system of Southern Christians and the value system of Russians are very much in line. Gun manufacturer Arsenal Incorporated sells 100 limited edition AK-74s signed by Mikhail Kalishnikov a personal friend of Torshin's with an anticipated $100,000 or more in proceeds to the NRA-ILA, the organization's political lobbying arm.
Wait. Did they raffle off AK-47s to raise money for the NRA? Is that what that was?
It says AK-74s, Dom. That's something completely different.
Oh, my bad.
December of 2011, Preston serves as an internal observer of Russia's legislative elections, calling them free and fair.
Yeah, of course.
Despite mass street protests and European observers reporting fraudulent activity. Targeted by the Kremlin. In 2012, the FBI warns Republican Rep. Dana Rohrabacher, a Cold Warrior turned Russian apologist who claimed to have once lost a drunken arm wrestling match to Putin in the Washington dive bar. I mean, that's a claim to fame, to have lost an arm wrestling match to Vladimir Putin, that the Kremlin aims to recruit him as a source. The FBI warning a Republican congressman who still sits in the House. April 15th of 2012, Torshin tweets about returning from the NRA annual convention to a rally in Moscow for the right to bear arms, where he notes how similar, good-looking, and confident the supporters of both gun groups are. We have the largest guns. In July 24th of 2012, Torshin and Butina lobbied the Russian Senate to expand gun rights. In November of 2012, Torshin and Preston, again the Nashville attorney, observed the U.S. presidential elections in Nashville and alleged improprieties took place on behalf of President Barack Obama. So he is a election observer here, and it's bad stuff on behalf of Obama. Goes over there. Nothing to see here.
All good in Russia.
From Houston to Moscow, May of 2013, after attending the NRA annual convention in Houston, Torshin writes, Kolesnikov couldn't join me, though we have both been life members of the NRA for years, adding that dozens of AK-47 clones on display at the event represented one of our country's greatest accomplishments. Now let's move down to when they meet Governor Scott Walker of the great state of Wisconsin. Dom, let's move her down to 2015. Trump to Butina. I don't think you need the sanctions. In January of 2015, Torshin is appointed deputy governor of the Central Bank of Russia. Now, Butina is Torshin's protege.
Yes.
In March of 2015, Butina announces on Facebook she will attend the NRA's upcoming convention in Nashville, where Preston, the attorney, and Scott Walker happens to be there. She notes the importance of paying attention to the politicians, that we have more similarities than differences. And here's the stunning one, Dom. In April of 2015, the newly charged Russian spy, Maria Butina, posted about 200 pictures from Nashville, including one with Republican Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin, who she says greeted her in Russian.
What?
Did you hear that, Republicans? Scott Walker greeted a Russian spy in Russian at the NRA convention in April of 2015. You know, he was a candidate in waiting to run for the presidency. She notes he's one of the possible future nominees for the post of U.S. president and ponders the beginning of a new dialogue between Russia and the U.S. Donald Trump also attends, telling the crowd, I promise you one thing, if I run for president, and if I win, the Second Amendment will be totally protected, and I can tell you. Torshin, also present, later tells Bloomberg that he had a jovial exchange with the future president. And then a little bit later, Dom, you know, Scott Walker ultimately did run for president, and Butina was there. The Russian spy was at Scott Walker's Waukesha, Wisconsin campaign launch on July 13th of 2015. Butina posted photos from the Wisconsin event where Governor Scott Walker announces his failed presidential candidacy. He was in bed with Russian spies from the get-go. I'm talking about Scott Walker.
Scott Walker.
Had he been a stronger candidate, he would have been the one colluding with the Russians. And let's not forget, it was a Scott Walker funder, the guy that owned the Washington Free Beacon. Singer, Paul Singer?
Yes.
He's the guy that funded the Fusion GPS against Donald Trump, and he was a Scott Walker big donor during the recall. Didn't jump on board with Marco Rubio until after Scott Walker's campaign failed in September of 2015. I assert now, Scott Walker, Russian spy. Allegedly. Come right back. More Devil's Advocate on the other side. 844-967-2789. If only he could have been Putin's bitch.
It's really an honor to work with the NRA, not only in my state, but across the country. Danny, this isn't Russia. Is this Russia? This isn't Russia, is it?
Having a great time.
So, Jesse, why should someone buying a home pay for an agent when they can go online or call the number on a for sale sign?
Great questions. First of all, never call the number on a sign to see a home. That's the seller's agent, and they don't represent your interests. If they show you a home outside of an open house, you forfeit your ability to have someone negotiate in your corner at no cost to you.
Well, with interest rates still at historic lows, how can buyers still get a great deal and protect their rights?
Step 1, find a buyer's agent that you trust. Your agent will best find the home that fits your needs, anticipate problems, and negotiate on your behalf from offer through closing day. And most home listing contracts stipulate that the seller's agent pays for the buyer's commission.
Solidarity Realty. They're real, they're solid, they're honest. Whether buying or selling in Madison or Dane County, call Solidarity Realty, 608-284-9311, or find them at solidarityrealty.com.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we're helping to stop food waste. Save the food. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
This is high blood pressure. Get back on your plan. Go to loweryourhbp.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Person who's against these regulations to keep poop out of your water and poison out of your food, if one of their offspring had a third arm coming out of their forehead,
I would just think that would be awkward. You'd be very top heavy.
But you would be one heck of a football player.
How would they make a helmet?
All you gotta do is cut a hole in the helmet for the hand to come through, and you could catch
but then
passes
you're
all over
elbowing
the place.
everybody in the face every time you walk around.
Wear an elbow pad. You'd be fine.
How would you see?
You would be a heck of a football player.
Would you be an arm unicorn?
414 Wisconsin, weekdays 2 to 3 p.m.
Have a drink at Regano's Roman Coin. This neighborhood corner tavern is as classic as the street it occupies. Family owned and operated since 1966, Regano's Roman Coin is located in a former Pabst Tide House on historic Brady Street, serving an array of craft beers with a focus on Wisconsin breweries. Also, weekly drink specials, trivia on Wednesdays, seasonal sporting events, parties hosted for all occasions, and pet friendly. Open 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, closed on Monday. Regano's Roman Coin, Milwaukee's pet friendly, cash only order and classic corner tavern.
Jeff's Guitar Clinic is a multifaceted shop offering guitars, amplifiers, and all accessories, guitar lessons for all ages, and instrument repair of the highest quality. Jeff'sGuitar.com.
Wisconsin's doing terribly. The roads are a disaster because they don't have any money to rebuild them. They're borrowing money like crazy. They projected a $1 billion surplus, and it turns out to be a deficit of $2.2 billion. The schools are a disaster. The hospitals and education is a disaster. And when I see Scott Walker with his little motorcycle and puts his helmet on and he gets off and he makes a speech, but he's always riding like, he gets off a bike like he's a big tough guy, okay, or a little tough guy. Their lobbyists, their special interests, and their donors will start calling. They gave you $1 million to your campaign, and this one gave you $5 million, and this one, you have to do it. You know what he's going to say? Okay, I'll do it.
Mr. Trump, you're using the talking points of the Democrats, and as we all know, that failed facts.
This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at zeroresmadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
The Devil's Advocates, because it's always 420 somewhere.
And we are back from the 420 break. Thank you so much for listening to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, streaming live on the YouTube and Facebook pages, on Twitter at Devil Radio, and phone lines are open. We'll take some calls, 844-967-2789.
So, breaking news today. A Russian spy arrested. Her name, Maria Butina. She a member of this NRA-associated group that has clear and strong connections with not just Sheriff David A. Clarke Jr. Let's not forget, Sheriff David A. Clarke Jr. went there, meaning to Moscow, and toured armament plants where they're making the guns. But Scott Walker greeted the Russian spy in Russian in April of 2015 at the NRA convention, almost like he knew she would be there. And then later,
How does a guy who never graduated from college can speak Russian to the now accused Russian spy?
He struggles with English.
It's about time that we speak Russian.
Now, who prepped him? I mean, he's got a hell of a campaign worker who prepped him to greet a Russian spy in Russian, in the mother language. So she felt at home at the NRA convention. And then later, she shows up at his presidential campaign launch in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
We had a accused Russian spy right here in our own backyard.
No, we didn't have her. Scott Walker had a accused, arrested Russian spy at his presidential campaign launch. How do we know? She posted pictures.
We Wisconsinites. We...
Don't put me with him.
844-967-2789.
Don't you make it sound like we had any... We, the real people of Wisconsin, we didn't invite a Russian spy over. That was Scott Walker.
There was one here, and we are all in the state. She was just up the street from this fine studio right now. Let's keep going on the phones. Pete from Milwaukee. How you doing, Pete? What do you got today?
How you guys doing today?
Wow, man.
Hey, listen, what a great deal. Scotty and David Clarke, cellmates. They'll have lots to talk about.
Can you imagine if Scott Walker appears in the Mueller indictment? I mean, it's not that fanciful to think that a guy, if we've got a charged Russian spy arrested and she's making back channels with Scott Walker, I'm not saying he's guilty of anything, but you don't think he's at least going to bear mention in a Mueller indictment at some point? She's cooperating.
Yes. He's going to be, he's getting his money from somewhere, and it's not too far off to figure it's coming from the NRA from Russia to the NRA to him.
And do you have any doubt in your mind, Pete, that had Scott Walker been a little stronger as a candidate, had he survived the primary, been the nominee on behalf of the Republicans, do you have any belief whatsoever that Scott Walker wouldn't have been meeting at Trump Tower or, probably in the governor's mansion here in the state of Wisconsin in lieu thereof? Scott Walker has already demonstrated he is corruptly coordinated with outside groups in contrast to campaign finance laws. Why would he care about federal finance laws? Suddenly he's a fair actor?
Exactly. He would do anything to get what he wants. This man has proven it over and over again, and he deserves to go down. He really does.
Thanks for the call, Pete. 844-967-2789. We'll take some more callers after the bottom of the hour. Crudy, breaking news. Our friend Jessie Apoyan, well, she's got a piece in the Cap Times regarding Walker and Butina. Here's the headline. We'll get into it, plus your calls. Russian national charged with conspiracy once praised Scott Walker during the presidential bid. Crudy, there's additional information in there that was not in the Mother Jones Rolling Stone article. We'll come back with our pal Jessie Apoyan.
Anyone going to ask Scott Walker the tough questions? And will Scott Walker answer them? Because today he said, that's outside my jurisdiction.
Walker's spokesman did not have an immediate comment when asked whether Walker remembered meeting Butina or whether they spoke beyond the April 2015 meeting.
Maybe the picture on the top of the Devil's Advocates Radio Facebook page, maybe that will act as a reminder. I note Jessie Apoyan at the Cap Time used the very same photo. Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. Our governor colluded with a Russian spy. I'm just saying. 844-967-2789. She was very complimentary. You know how the politicians like that.
They'd like to take me out for a lot of reasons far bigger than just this election.
Can we call that treason?
I'm
Why
Jesse
not?
Picaholes with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, dude. Remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, everybody. Did you know that Scott Walker spelled backwards is Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network? I know, I was amazed too.
Do you love public education? Do you want to support your schools? Then you should support the people who make them work. You should support teachers and their unions. Teachers' working conditions are students' learning conditions, and when the school bell rings, it is crucial that teachers do not check their rights at the door. The ability to organize and advocate around issues that improve the quality of a teacher's workplace will increase opportunities for students and make schools safer for everyone. Stand with teachers, stand with WEAC Region 7.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
The Devil's Advocates.
Tom Perez, chair of the Democratic National Committee. Scott Walker went on something of a Twitter storm, very Trumpian. What do you think this foretells for Scott Walker's future as the governor of the state of Wisconsin?
Wisconsinites have woken up. He talked about we need an optimistic message. How can you make people feel optimistic when you take away their health care? How can you make people optimistic when you take away the right to bargain? How can you make people feel optimistic when you're gerrymandering the heck out of districts?
Radio for the 99%.
For Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, I'm Stu Daniels with your headlines. The company that owns Kohl's department stores is being sued for preventing assistant store managers from getting overtime pay when they're doing non-managerial work. The company is denying the allegations. The case follows a trend of legal actions filed against retailers, restaurant chains, and other businesses over how they pay managers and assistant managers. And the Brewers lost to the Pirates yesterday, 7-6 in 10 innings. They're now off until Friday for the All-Star game. And outside this afternoon, sunny with temperatures in the mid-80s, and then clear skies tonight, lows in the low 60s. Sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with highs both days in the mid-70s in Milwaukee and upper 70s in Madison. You're listening to Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network.
Bring it? Oh, it's already been brought in. Dom and Krutz are the Devil's Advocates.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates radio show. We're not the only ones that have noticed that the governor of the state of Wisconsin has close associations with an arrested Russian spy. Maria Butina, her name, Scott Walker's association through the NRA, first at a convention where he greeted her in the Mother Russian, and later she was at his presidential campaign launch in Waukesha, Wisconsin, at the invitation of Scott Walker, not we, the Wisconsin, but Scott Walker and Jesse Apoyan at the Cap Times, friend of ours. She's got more of the heartfelt writings of the Russian spy, the adoring writing, speaking of your buddy Scott Walker.
From Jesse Apoyan in the Cap Times. We posted it on our Facebook page, The Devil's Advocates Radio. You can find it there. I will jump into the body of the piece. New news to me. from Jesse. Butina wrote in her Russian language blog that meeting Walker will remain in my memory forever. She writes, with genuine interest and ready to ask a question on a topic of Russian-American relations, I went to him. And then something happened that I did not expect. The first words in many, many days in Russian. I heard from the future nominee in the U.S. presidency from the Republican Party, who, having learned that I from Russia, with a smile said, hello. And during the conversation, he remembered another word, thank you, Butina wrote.
Thank you. He learned that one because he's used to cashing Russian checks. Perhaps.
We talked about Russia. I did not hear any aggression towards our country, the president, or my compatriots. Butina wrote about her conversation with Walker. How to know? Maybe such meetings are the beginning of a new dialogue between Russia and the U.S. and back from the Cold War to the peaceful existence of the two great powers.
Perhaps Donald Trump is Putin's bitch, but Scott Walker is the bitch of anyone writing a big check. So if he thought he could get funding sources, even in an illegal fashion through the Russians, because let's not forget, he was breaking campaign finance laws here in the state of Wisconsin.
But didn't the NRA get like an extra $30 million from somewhere in Russia?
Yes, probably. It has been applied, although we don't have any clear indictments yet to read about.
It isn't part of the investigation.
But they did arrest the Russian spy last night. You know, the one that was friendly and had the heartfelt blog postings about Scott Walker, you know, back when she thought he might be the future president.
844-967-2789. Brad from Jefferson, you are next. Thanks for calling, Brad. What do you got today?
Hi there.
Hey.
So Trump is crazy. That's pretty obvious. But what if he's also crazy like a fox? I mean, I always try to follow the money, and I'm wondering maybe if what Trump's goal is to actually split the United States away from Russia, to split NATO also away from Russia in order to have more military spending. Like he's working for some of those oligarchs in the military-industrial complex.
But don't you think Trump is more directly self-serving? I mean, that sounds like nuanced three-level chess. Trump incapable. Here's what I would say. Trump more likely has been laundering Russian oligarch money for years and years, and he's been threatened. Whether there's a PP tape or just a ledger somewhere in Moscow, he is up to his eyeballs in corruption, doesn't want to be exposed to the world. I don't think it's anything so complicated as, you know, world orders and the Illuminati and Donald Trump's part of it. I think that's giving the man way too much credit. He is just compromised or corrupted or a little bit of both.
Actually, I don't give him that much credit. I think he's being used by some of those oligarchs. He probably owed them money, and yes, they said, you do this or you're going to die.
All right, Brad, thank you.
Or be exposed as having a small penis and a small checkbook. About one and the same in Trump's worldview.
Oh, 844-967-2789. Brad, I mean anything is possible, but I think, you know, if you come up with the most reasonable conclusion, that's probably it.
Didn't Eric Trump sort of brag about
the Russian financing?
The golf course in Scotland, you know, the one that Trump holed up in all weekend, hiding from the protesters in the UK before he went to roll over and be Pootie Poot's bitch in Helsinki. I mean, didn't Eric Trump effectively brag about that was the source of the money for the golf course purchase?
I remember him bragging about their Russian sources of money. I don't recall what the specific asset was, but yes, that is on record.
You know, before the Scott Walker associate Russian spy was arrested today, I had seen reporting over the weekend that the pace seemingly is accelerating of this Mueller probe and perhaps big chunks to be wrapped up before the end of summer.
That would be fantastic.
And can you imagine? I don't think Donald Trump will be subpoenaed. I think Mueller way smarter than that. I don't think he's going to give Trump the opportunity to jam this one through the Supreme Court and delay. I don't think you need Trump's testimony at this point. If you get enough evidence, just indict. Or just name him as an unindicted co-conspirator when you nail Trump Jr. and throw one at Ivanka and Jared and everyone else in the Trump sphere of influence, because I'm not convinced they're all not up to their tentacles in Russian collusion. And any Republican that stands there in this day and age and says, nothing to see here.
Witch hunt.
I mean, Paul Ryan, are you freaking kidding me to say, oh, I agree with the intelligence community? Then why are you allowing Devin Nunes to roll out bogus BS reports on behalf of the House Intelligence Committee? Why has he not been removed? He is just as complicit as Donald Trump. Hell, he's coordinating with Donald Trump late night rendezvous to get evidence that he can turn around and get back to Donald Trump and have a presser and say nothing to see here. Witch hunt.
That's a great point, Crudy. If that is the case, and if Speaker Ryan from Wisconsin does believe the intelligence community, then why do you allow Nunes to run roughshod over that committee? That's a fantastic point. Let's get some of your...
Because he doesn't care.
Your point.
Because he is also part of the complicit collusion with Russia. He let it happen. He was the Speaker of the House when it was happening.
Oh, yeah, and he's also resigning. Oh, yeah. Huh. Funny how all that works. All these Republicans
cashing
resigning.
checks and spending more time with family.
Peter from Florida, you are next. Thanks for calling. What do you got today?
Hey, man, I'm the true devil, man. I think it's a good thing the Orange Nero / Trump is talking with Putin. I mean, the military-industrial complex is flipping out because they're looking at $1 trillion in spending and revamping the entire nuclear arsenal. If you don't have Russia as an enemy, it's tough to get that spending. You know, I look at other countries we're dealing with, you know, we talk about collusion. Hell, Israel's an apartheid government. We can't give them enough. And Saudi Arabia is as brutal as they get. But nobody says a word in Washington because they funnel the money through the think tanks and the media. Nobody says a bad word about that apartheid government.
Well, Peter, let's not forget Donald Trump literally betrayed Israeli intelligence by giving the information to the Sergis in the Oval Office. I mean, can you imagine if Barack Obama had betrayed Israeli intelligence by giving the information to Russia?
Well, I mean, Israeli intelligence, that's where your collusion comes in between the son-in-law. He's the one that, when Obama was president, was telling Israel was lobbying him. He was calling Qatar and the rest of the boys to go easy on the UN vote. But they don't want to prosecute him for that because that would taint Israel. I mean, that's the Intercept and a number of articles on that. It just jumped to is playing the devil here. Take a look at last week Friday. Mueller, he goes after 12 Russian, let's say, sergeants in a spy operation. The reason why he had to do that is 6 weeks ago he screwed up and he indicted 13 people who would never show up to court and 2 Russian corporations. Russian corporations showed up to court and pled not guilty and want a speedy trial. And Mueller looks stupid because he's the one that's pleading for time because he didn't have the evidence to charge him. So now they have to come up with people who won't show up.
And you think that's what this is about? You think Mueller has been outfoxed in his indictments? He didn't have the evidence, and somehow Trump and his... I'm not there with you, Peter.
Well, the first Mueller thing, what I was talking about is the 13 trolls.
Sure. The first component, which was there are effectively 3 components of this investigation, setting aside perhaps obstruction. There is the first round of charges against the Russians, the 13 Russians, that were effectively the private troll farms. And then the second round was to go after the governmental officials. And then the third round, one must assume, is to charge and indict anyone that colluded here from the Trump team with either the Russian government or these private actors. And when I say private actors, they're in private industry, but certainly they were doing this at the direction of the Russian government. And the secondary point you make about Israel, Peter, I have no doubt he colluded with the Israelis as well.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to go after that. They're not going to go.
Into the U.S. election system. It wasn't Israel who created these. Do you believe the reporting? Do you believe the indictments? Do you believe the U.S. intelligence agencies that say Russia specifically did these things?
I can tell you, I wish the DNC would have gave their servers to
Oh,
the FBI.
yeah, come on.
No.
You and Trump both, man. Thanks for the call, Peter. I get it, but Trump's the president, and Russia's the one that interfered in the election. That's where we go. If Hillary was president, I have no doubt there would be investigations and maybe a special counsel that would have been called for by the Republicans. But you know what? I don't give a damn about what ifs. What I do care about is right now, we had a president, the strong president, the Make America Great Again president, roll over with an adversary, a historical adversary of this country.
Just a strong competitor, a rival.
He rips on everybody else. Other competitors, his other Republican people who would run against him. He rips on our
like
allies.
Our foes, the EU.
The EU are trading foes. But he has nothing good to say about U.S. It's our foolishness, Peter. It's our stupidity, Peter. This is what the president tweeted out as to why our relationship with Russia is the way it is. He didn't tweet out about because one of the worst things that happened in recent memory, beyond the Crimea thing, was you were messing with us, our elections. And if you believe current intelligence today, they still say are currently doing it. That is the issue. That is what we have to deal with right now. 844-967-2789. Let's get one more in, and we'll take some callers. Paul, you're next. Thanks for calling. What do you got?
Hey, Peter, what the F? I don't know. What about, and they said, I get sick of that stuff, but Pumpkinhead and Scotto are making R in Republican Russian. And I can't really talk anymore about it today because this is treason, treason, treason. And that's it. I don't want to hear what about Hillary, what about Obama. I don't want to hear any more of this they said stuff. Pumpkinhead is the president. He just did his. I've never seen nothing like this in my life.
Never.
Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, thanks,
See you
Paul.
later.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have never, and I've seen since Reagan, when I was a little boy, seen these presidential, pressers, and I have never seen anything like that. I've never read a tweet or a message from a president blaming the stupidity of America for the poor relationship with what? The former USSR, the former KGB president in Russia? After all this going on?
But Obama bowed that one time.
Oh, yeah, the apology tour.
Let's take one more.
All right, let's take one more.
Let's get Bill from Oconomowoc before the break. Bill, how you doing? What are your thoughts, sir?
Great. I don't think you're surprised, and I'm definitely not surprised. And I think here's what needs to happen. I've already called Ryan and Sensenbrenner. I'm going to call Walker's office, and I'm going to say you guys have to choose. Your country or Russia. Choose. And we don't ask, we demand he be impeached. We're not going to ask. We're done asking. We're going to demand it. Now, Fox, for years and years and years, wrapped himself up in the flag. Now it's our turn. We're carrying the American flag. Who do you choose? We'll go and give you that Russian flag and put it on your property if you like that country so much. I am actually surprised that Trump just didn't stay in Russia and ask for protection.
Right.
I'm shocked, but then again, every guy he brought in there, what do they call him? Stupid, a moron. Well, he doesn't even have enough sense. Hey, once you disavow your own country, you better stay in the country you're holding on to, because you come back to your country, buddy, and you're going to be impeached. He literally committed an act of impeachment today. It should be a done deal. If that was Hillary, I think she'd be shot.
Yeah, that's probably not so far from true, Bill. Appreciate your call. 844-967-2789. Your reaction to a treasonous president and a governor of the state of Wisconsin that was involved with a arrested Russian spy, Maria Butina, made her heart aflutter by addressing her in Russian at an NRA meeting. And then later, she was at Scott Walker's presidential launch party in Waukesha, Wisconsin. She under arrest today for spying on behalf of the Russian government, Tom.
I wonder what Walker has to say about that. Oh, he had no comment after Jesse Poyen from the Cap Times apparently reached out today.
Well, the other thing, when reporters, according to Theo Keith, via Twitter, when they tried to question Scott Walker about the traitorous president of the United States. Oh, that's federal, boys. That's outside my jurisdiction. Come back with us. Devil's Advocates Radio Show. More on the other side. More of your calls. 844-967-2789.
I don't know if this sends a message. It doesn't make any difference if it does or not. We're like the stupid people.
There's more to be done.
Where is the server?
I'm Andy Buck, Field Representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPATDC7.com and finish strong.
I'm afraid right now for the future of my children's generation and those to come.
In this age of mass school shootings, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker offers the same bold agenda of the National Rifle Association.
Make sure you remember in your thoughts and more importantly in your prayers.
While Walker offers platitudes, he blocks meaningful gun safety legislation.
It's really an honor to work with the NRA, not only in my state, but across the country. And I'm proud of my A+ ranking as a governor.
Walker weakened the gun laws in Wisconsin, and then he got $3.5 million worth of NRA support.
There have been men and women of courage who've been willing to stand up and think more about the future of their children and their grandchildren than they thought about their own futures.
Scott Walker, you are not one of them. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
Once again, the American public has some reading to do. In a 29-page indictment today, Americans need to take a look at page 6, paragraph 20, and here come those important 8 words: to interfere with the 2016 U.S. presidential election. That is it.
Jim, I'm going to make a confession on behalf of the panel. Dom's not going to read the indictments.
Come on, maybe.
The Devil's Advocates, political commentary from the back of the class.
Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison, resisting dirty carpets and harsh chemicals. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We're not using any soaps. We're not using any chemicals. We cost about the same as the other guys. You look at it and you go, where's the downside? You got a completely green clean. That's awesome. We guarantee it. There's no downside.
There's no downside. Use Zero Res. Call Zero Res today. 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout Southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
Hey folks, sexy liberal Stephanie Miller here. Most new Wisconsin jobs are in Dane County, it's true. Some of my listeners are relocating to Madison. Many already commute there. When asked where to turn for a trusted real estate team that understands Madison, I say the same thing. Solidarity Realty. They help you through the process and protect your consumer rights. They live their values, building community, promoting sustainability and diversity. Find them today at solidarityrealty.com and tell them Stephanie Miller sent you.
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachdfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
5 your local single-source IT solutions provider. Specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
We want information. Who are you? The new number 2. Who is number 1? You are number 6. I am not a number. I am a free man.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show, 844-967-2789. Got a few more minutes in this segment. Let's keep going on the phones. They're lighting up. Ian from Milwaukee, you are next. Thanks for calling, Ian. What do you got?
Hey, guys. Man, I love that. The Prisoner clip, Patrick McGowan's TV series from 69. Awesome
Good
series.
stuff. Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I'm hearing you talk about what you're talking about. I just listened to the last 20 minutes here. I'm on the road. And I keep going back to as soon as Trump used the word collusion on TV a few months back, when people started talking about hacking and stuff, which actually started with Facebook in some European country, I believe. But somehow it worked its way beyond that over to Trump in the U.S. And he mentioned collusion, and I kept thinking right away of the primaries. When during the primaries, that's where it all started going down. We saw Hillary getting her face stomped in by Bernie pretty much, yet there was heavy voter suppression during the polls. Or you'd get your poll turnout, and then where there were areas that were favoring Bernie the most, all of a sudden people weren't able to vote. There'd be like 40,000 people with like 2 machines. And like,
are you implying that Hillary Clinton somehow shifted the primary to her favor? I mean, other than superdelegates, if you're talking about the superdelegates, Hillary had a 15% lead before Bernie had ever declared his candidacy. I certainly believe that the scales were tilted towards Hillary for that reason, but I would point out, I don't think most of us paid attention to, like, if you had to be, you know, signed up for the primary in the state of New York or in California, what the regulations were. I think we as an electorate figured it out state by state and thought, oh man, that's not fair to Bernie. But quite frankly, those rules were in place preceding Bernie Sanders. I don't think we had that collusion. I just think we had an awful superdelegate system. Let's keep going down the list. Thank you for your call, Ian. Next up will be Jake from Milwaukee. Welcome, Jake. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in this Scott Walker angle with the NRA Russian conduit who's trying to pit Trump with Putin. I think that actually is leading closer to the Republican Party of Wisconsin and the Walker campaign, as in maybe a testing ground before whoever was going to be the GOP nominee, GOP president or whatever. Because as we have seen, they're using a lot of stuff that has happened in Wisconsin on the national level.
Well, a lot of the data people from Cambridge Analytica were Scott Walker data operatives from his political presidential campaign.
Yes.
Whether or not that happened during, prior Walker gubernatorial campaigns, I cannot tell you, but I will point out Paul Singer, a prior Scott Walker funder to the tune of $250,000 during the recall. Well, he was also the funder of Fusion GPS, the PP tape. The Steele dossier, that was funded by a Scott Walker donor. I keep pointing that out. No one except for me seems to care. Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. Sarah Lloyd, co-chair of Our Wisconsin Revolution, talks about the Wisconsin Chooses the Final Four. The vote is open right now. Come back with us. The happy hour starts next.
Can we call that treason? Why not?
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
So, Jesse, why should someone buying a home pay for an agent when they can go online or call the number on a for sale sign?
Great questions. First of all, never call the number on a sign to see a home. That's the seller's agent, and they don't represent your interests. If they show you a home outside of an open house, you forfeit your ability to have someone negotiate in your corner at no cost to you.
Well, with interest rates still at historic lows, how can buyers still get a great deal and protect their rights?
Step 1, find a buyer's agent that you trust. Your agent will best find the home that fits your needs, anticipate problems, and negotiate on your behalf from offer through closing day. And most home listing contracts stipulate that the seller's agent pays for the buyer's commission.
Solidarity Realty. They're real, they're solid, they're honest. Whether buying or selling in Madison or Dane County, call Solidarity Realty 608-284-9311 or find them at solidarityrealty.com.
J.D. Davis Funeral Home, located at 4803 West Burlott Street, is dedicated, dignified, and distinguished in serving you in your time of need. Direct cremation specials starting at a very low cost of $595. That does not include cremation permit or crematory fee. Traditional funeral packages starting at $1,995 with a 20-gauge metal casket included. Title 19, Milwaukee County General Assistance accepted. Call today, 414-444-8300.
You are listening to 1510 AM WRRD Waukesha, Milwaukee, and 1580 AM WTTN Columbus, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network.
Special report, Trump-Putin meeting. President Trump says he believes Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who has denied interfering in the election. That brought swift condemnation from Capitol Hill lawmakers from both sides of the aisle.
Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer led the barrage of criticism of the president's acceptance of Vladimir Putin's contention that Russia didn't meddle in the U.S. election.
He took the word of the KGB over the men and women of the CIA.
House Speaker Paul Ryan said there's no question Russia interfered, and Senator John McCain added no president has ever degraded himself more abjectly before a tyrant. Congressman Darrell Issa, meanwhile, echoed the president asking how to know that Russia interfered.
Did we hack them in order to find out?
The CIA director reiterated the agency's assessment of Russian interference is fact-based. Jerry Bodlander, Washington.
Former CIA Director John Brennan called President Trump's comments nothing short of treasonous. I'm Ann Cates. The Trump administration says it's still working to bring together children taken from their families at the border.
The government says there are 2,551 kids that have been separated from their parents. There are hundreds of parents whose whereabouts are unknown. They're either still in custody, released, or already deported. The worst part, says ACLU attorney Lee Gallant, is that there are 71 kids. The whereabouts of their parents are not only unknown, but who their parents even are is unknown.
It's beyond imagination that they've taken these children away and haven't kept track of who their parents are.
While the government assured the judge that the kids are being well taken care of, the judge said that's not the issue. The issue of concern, he says, is the passage of time. I'm Jim Roop.
A judge has postponed the trial of Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman until November. The defense says it needs to review new evidence from prosecutors. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 45 points, the S&P down 3. I'm Ann Cates.
Bark and Scratch Outpost. Free local same-day delivery. That's right, free local same-day delivery from Origin, Stella, and Chewy's. Order all your favorite products online at MilwaukeePetFood.com. At Bark and Scratch Outpost, we think outside the bag.
Come on down, you will see. We do it naturally. MilwaukeePetFood.com. Bark and Scratch Outpost.
Ignacio, what do you got for us today?
Hey, I quit paying attention for like maybe one day, and all hell breaks loose. That goes to show me I got to pay attention every single day to your radio program, or else who knows what'll happen.
If you don't listen to the Devil's Advocates 3 hours every day, Nacho, you're missing a lot.
You got that right. I just learned that today. I turned it on and I'm listening, and you really just rocked my world today. I was just totally blown away.
Save the $2 on tomorrow's paper. Listen to the Devil's Advocates today.
Totally blown away.
Major League Baseball has reached the All-Star break. Tonight, they swing for the fences in the 2018 Home Run Derby.
Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. is the host this year, and tonight's event is headlined by the Nationals' own Bryce Harper, who will face off against the Braves' Freddie Freeman in the first round of the Derby. Harper is the only of the 8 participants with past Home Run Derby experience. Other competitors include the Brewers' Jesus Aguilar, Cubs teammates Kyle Schwarber and Javier Baez, Max Muncy of the Dodgers, the Phillies' Rhys Hoskins, and Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros. I'm TJ Coutini.
The U.S. has a severe shortage of pilots, especially at the regional airline level. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, there were 827,000 pilots in America in 1987. Over the past 3 decades, that number has tumbled by 30%. Adding to the pilot shortfall, the International Air Transport Association predicts that over the next 20 years, air travel will double. I'm Ann Cates.
Do you have
I'm Jesse Pica-Holst with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14.
31? 13?
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
For Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, I'm Stu Daniels with your headlines. Wisconsin's largest rooftop solar power project is now in operation at the new IKEA store in Oak Creek. More than 4,700 solar panels will produce between 20 and 50% of the building's electric power. IKEA, which was founded in Sweden, promotes its commitment to environmental conservation and sustainability. Before the IKEA solar project went online, the largest rooftop solar array in the state was at the American Family Insurance Building in Madison. The IKEA system is expected to be surpassed later this year by a project at Madison College, also in Madison. And outside this afternoon, sunny with temperatures in the mid-80s, and then clear skies tonight, lows in the low 60s. You're listening to Resistance Radio.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, we are sliding into the 5 o'clock happy hour, and I'm happy to announce we've got a guest right now live via phone. We welcome back Sarah Lloyd. She is the co-chair of Our Wisconsin Revolution. Sarah, welcome back to the Devil's Advocates.
Great to be on again.
Thank you, Sarah.
So, Sarah, tell us about this Wisconsin Chooses, this little political exercise your group has going on in conjunction with the Working Families Party and others, I believe. Right, Sarah?
Yeah, so Our Wisconsin Revolution and the Wisconsin Working Families Party has teamed up and working with some different allies across the state to really engage the people power of the Wisconsin's electorate. And we are engaging people around the upcoming primary, the Democratic primary, because we know that we need a real people's champion. And we're really looking at issues of getting health care for all, building worker power and higher wages, addressing racial injustice through criminal justice reform, and importantly, protecting our water and our land. And so those are the people's agenda, and those are the things that get lost when big money politics buys off our elections. So Our Wisconsin Revolution and Working Families Party of Wisconsin have come together, and in this super crowded Democratic field, we are engaging people across the state in really paying attention to the campaigns so that we can find a real people's champ.
And Sarah, I know you guys had a big event last night. I watched some on the Facebook live stream. John Nichols, our buddy from the Cap Times, The Nation magazine, moderated the final four of the Wisconsin Chooses. See if I can do this by memory. Kathleen Feinhout, Mike McCabe, Malin Mitchell, and Kelda Royce. Those the final four. They debated. They went in this candidates forum last night. And now, Sarah, now the final round of voting is open. What do these candidates hope to achieve?
Well, I'm sure that the final four candidates are hoping that they will get an endorsement from the assembled group of people that have participated. We have set up the bar that they have to get 50% of the vote plus one. And just to backtrack a little bit so folks know, this is our third round of voting that's open now. We did rounds 1 and 2. We went from the full field to 9 candidates and then to 4 candidates. And people, as they voted in round 2, had to pledge volunteer people power to campaigns. And in this third round, people will need to pledge 10 hours of people power. So we really expect that we can aggregate over 50,000 hours of people power. And so that's what these candidates are vying for.
Folks, you're listening to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Got a fair guest, and a fine guest, Sarah Lloyd, co-chair, Our Wisconsin Revolution, talking about the Wisconsin Chooses process. Sarah, final polling, trying to whittle it down to the 50 plus one, as you mentioned. Only 4 candidates remain. I'm going to repeat them one more time, again by memory. It's Kathleen Feinhout, it's Kelda Royce, it's Malin Mitchell, it's Mike McCabe. And if no one achieves the magic threshold, no endorsement offered?
Correct. There won't be an endorsement around one candidate if no one reaches the threshold. But what we do offer out of the process is that all of the people that have voted and engaged with the process will be encouraged and supported to go out and use their hours of volunteer time with the candidate of their choice. And so people will be getting people power no matter what.
What about the metrics of the vote tabulation? Let's assume, just for argument's sake, and the voting, I understand, closes Thursday night, but let's assume between now and Thursday, none of these individual candidates can garner 50 plus 1% of the vote. Sarah, will you release the final tabulation? Will we know the Wisconsin Chooses order of finish? What information will be released to the public?
So we will only release whether or not we have a clear single people's champ or not. So we will not be giving the internals, and that's because we don't want to be in horse race politics. Things are too important. We want to engage citizens and people across the state and the public in the process of looking for the issues that are important to them. And those are things like health care for all, raising wages, protecting the environment, addressing racial injustice through criminal justice reform. And those are the things that people care about, and we don't want to get in a horse race. And so that's the reason that we're sticking with, we'll announce if there's an endorsement. If not, we'll be active, getting people involved with door knocking and phone calls and house parties to really build the political power of the people.
Well, Sarah Lloyd, you know haters are going to hate, and some have hated on this process. They said, who anointed you guys? How come you guys get to pick? Perhaps because there is incongruence between your field of 4 and I think the only overlap being Mike McCabe's campaign. The final four, what would have been the Wisconsin Broadcast Association debate field of final 4, those two are completely different with the exception of McCabe. How do you explain the difference in how the electorate has narrowed the field, I guess, and how people are responding to the more traditional Marquette poll?
Right. Well, polls are snapshots, and they also have margins of error. And I think the other thing that seems to go heavily into polls, and especially like the Wisconsin broadcasters, was that they were going to look at how much money people had raised. And I know that the people that are coming together around the Wisconsin's Choice Project are people that want to get money out of politics, and we need to demonstrate that we can have elections around ideas and issues and around the energy that the people of Wisconsin have together to create something better. And if we just follow a horse race, or we just follow like how much money people have raised, then we're not going to get there. So we need to model the politics that we want to see, and that's what we're doing in this project between our Wisconsin Revolution and Working Families Party.
Well, Sarah, we know there is an association, at least broadly, with the Bernie Sanders campaign, and Bernie did very well in the spring primary of 2016. We felt it on the ground. We knew the sentiment was there for Bernie Sanders, even though the national poll numbers were telling us Hillary, Hillary, Hillary. Do you think that the voters that have gotten involved in the Wisconsin Chooses, and through your own organization, Our Wisconsin Revolution, do you think they're more reflective of perhaps the grassroots notion that helped push Bernie Sanders to a primary victory in the state of Wisconsin?
Absolutely. I mean, you could see just last night in the event we had for the forum, I mean, people are out there with homemade signs and wearing their T-shirts and rattling bells and whistles to really call attention to the issues and the candidates that they care about. And that's the kind of energy that we need to bring back into our elections, and not just who can buy the worst attack ads from the most dark money. And so that, this project is about reinvigorating real democracy in our state. And we have gone away from that, and that's what we're working to restore. And so, again, we're going to model the kind of politics we want to see. And polling, like you said, the polls had it wrong in a lot of places about Bernie Sanders. And if we had listened to the gut instinct of the citizens, we would be in a really different place.
Well, Sarah, having said all that, you understand one of the other metrics of the campaign drops today, campaign finance reports, and many are going to point towards that. The Wisconsin broadcaster said you must have raised $250,000 during the elective cycle to be construed as a viable candidate. We understand it might go against the logic of Our Wisconsin Revolution and the greater overall movement of Wisconsin's Choice. But you understand, of course, Sarah, to get the word out about any of these individual candidacies, that costs money. A statewide campaign in the state of Wisconsin is going to cost about $1.5 million. There's barely a Democrat in the field that's going to have a third of that. How do you think we end up on August 15th with a Democratic nominee that anybody's heard of outside the 25 to 30% that push them to that position?
Well, I think that's just all the more reason for the kind of things that we're working on here with Wisconsin's Choice, is that we've got this summer election primary, we've got this huge field. It's all the more reason we got to really take it back to basics with democracy and get to know our neighbors and have the house parties and call our friends, because the politics is broken with the big money and flooding the airwaves with terrible ads. And so we've got to take it back. And that's what we're building the infrastructure for, so that we can get the things we want. We won't be able to have nice things unless we fix this. And as voters, as people in our communities that care, we got to get back to the basics and talk to each other. And so that's why Wisconsin's Choice, we set it up as forums and house parties and letting people meet the candidates and really talk to them. So, I reject the idea that we can't fix the system. And so that's why we've been putting this together.
Hey, Sarah, if people want to get involved with this, make their vote count for Wisconsin's Choice before Thursday, and want to find out more about this process, how do they go about doing so?
Yes, please vote. It is at We Choose, so www.choose.org. And then right on the main screen, it'll say Vote Now. So you have until Thursday at 10 p.m. to vote, and then we'll be announcing those results on Monday the 23rd. To vote, you need to commit 10 hours to volunteer on behalf of one of the final four. And the other thing that if you go to the wechoose.org, we also have video segments from those candidates about their stance on the issues. So you can learn some more about the candidates and also watch the live stream from the debate last night.
Sarah, it was excellent stuff. Sarah Lloyd, co-chair of the Our Wisconsin Revolution. We are both going to vote. And I would say I gave it the office, Sarah. Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates on the other side. 844-967-2789. You voting in the Wisconsin Chooses. I really got to know.
No, I'm going to stay for a while. How about that? Freedom.
Hi, I'm Todd Stryker, President and CEO of Five Nines. Have you got your head in the clouds on how to manage IT for your enterprise? We can make your dreams a reality. With our enterprise cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting, we'll manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Consider Five Nines your personal enterprise IT solution. Enjoy technology. For more information, visit fivenines.com. That's the number 5, NINES.com.
Hi, it's Scott Walker.
Scott, David Koch. How are you?
Hey, David. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm very well.
On February 22, 2011, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker took a call from journalist Ian Murphy pretending to be billionaire political activist David Koch.
What we were thinking about the crowds was planting some troublemakers.
You know, the only problem with because we thought about that.
You just heard Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker say he actually considered planting troublemakers. Scott Walker wrote in his book, "The fact is we never considered putting troublemakers in the crowd to discredit the protesters." He concluded by saying, "But I had made it seem like we had." Call Scott Walker at 608-266-1212. Ask him if he lies to his friends, is he lying to you?
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott. Once you crush these bastards, I'll fly you out to Cali and really show you a good time.
All right, that would be outstanding.
This message paid for by the People for People Corporation.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at zeroresmadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Hey folks, sexy liberal Stephanie Miller here. Most new Wisconsin jobs are in Dane County, it's true. Some of my listeners are relocating to Madison. Many already commute there. When asked where to turn for a trusted real estate team that understands Madison, I say the same thing. Solidarity Realty. They help you through the process and protect your consumer rights. They live their values, building community, promoting sustainability and diversity. Find them today at solidarityrealty.com and tell them Stephanie Miller sent you.
Hi, I'm Becky from Bounce Milwaukee, and I want to be the first to invite you to our newest attraction, axe throwing at Fling Milwaukee. Bring your friends, date, co-workers, or family to experience the rush of throwing axes at Milwaukee's first indoor throwing arena. Open 6 days a week for corporate team building, bachelor and bachelorette parties, date night, or just a fun night out. More information at flingmilwaukee.com or 414-312-4357.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Tune in to The Resistance, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio. Start your weekday off with the Earl Ingram Show from 7 to 9 a.m. Next is the Stephanie Miller Show from 9 to 11. Then from 11 to 2, it's the Tom Hartman Program. At 2 o'clock, it's 414 Wisconsin. Then from 3 to 6, it's the Devil's Advocates. Mandatory listening. Wisconsin's Resistance Radio.
I don't know if you know the Devil's Advocates, but they are kind of a big deal.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network. Also streaming on the YouTube, Facebook pages, on Twitter at Devil Radio. The party line to talk or text 844-967-2789.
Dominic, thank you to Sarah Lloyd Co-Chair, Our Wisconsin Revolution. They got the old tabulator going on right now. Your vote can count, but you do have to be an activist. You do have to pledge 10 hours for the right to vote at Wisconsin Chooses. And like I said, we give it the office, man. Give like 10 hours a day to the cause of good governance, freedom, and the American way. And of course, we the people, you our audience, you can always join us, 844-967-2789. Dom, quickly, telling a little story. And this one not related to the governor of the state of Wisconsin, who has reported links to a Russian spy arrested yesterday. Maria Butina, that's a differing story. That was in hour 2. Yesterday, Dane Dem picnic. And as a newly joined Democratic Party member from the great state of Wisconsin, Dane County specifically, I thought, I'll go to the picnic, man.
Yes,
they only wanted $5 in a side dish.
Oh, nice. Did you bring a dish?
I gave them $10.
All right.
All I ate was a couple of cookies, man. One guy, like every time they'd bring brats out, one guy, I swear to God, the guy must have ate 25 brats.
Wow, damn.
I know.
That guy wasn't you?
No.
You didn't have one single
No brats. Not a brat for me.
No?
No, I was a little disappointed.
What?
Every time I'd go over, the guy had already had like 3 brats on his plate. He might have had a family of immigrant children out in the van. I don't know, but he ate a lot of brats that
All right. So, but I did note you put some video up on the Facebook pages. What was your takeaway?
My takeaway was I was thinking it was going to be very picnicky. And it was
checkered tablecloth and
kind of, everyone playing out in the grass. I walked up, I saw guys playing Frisbee. I'm like, yeah, this looks like a damn picnic, right? Some volleyball, whatever. I just thought people work hard all year. They volunteer. They knock doors. They canvass. They do whatever. And this Sunday was going to be their annual picnic. I didn't consider the fact that all the candidates would be there, or so many of the candidates, and including U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin, Madison, of course, her district, the whole state of Wisconsin, but she lives in Madison. She basically thanked the crowd for having her back. Another person that was there, Mark Pocan, saw him, shook his hand, talked to Craig Trost, and then other candidates. And Mark made the mistake of name calling. Hey, it's Sheriff Dave Mahoney. Hey, it's Tony Evers. And then he looks around and it's a
he knows everybody in the crowd.
It's a picnic shelter full of candidates of all shapes and sizes and sorts. And I think Mark immediately regretted that.
What about me?
I did point out I had my own little collusive meeting at the picnic.
Collusion?
Little collusion. Me and Mayor Soglin.
What?
Yeah, me and Mayor Soglin.
So you guys talked?
Man to man, 20 minutes.
There was
mano y mano.
There were no witnesses.
No witnesses.
Only interpreters.
No interpretation. A couple of commies from the old country. Getting together, talking about how to split up the spoils of capitalism.
Yes.
His mentioned regret to me is that Tony Evers won't come out and debate him. And, after the WBA debate pulled off the charts, well, that doesn't give him much of an opportunity. I said, well, here's my regret for you, Mayor. It's that you haven't been on my show and you give me license to call you Mayor McGrumpy Pants. I said, Paul, have you considered getting yourself on here? And he thought about it. I could tell the gerbils, the hamster.
Spinning.
It's spinning. Yeah, we'll talk more. I'll tell you more about the Dem Picnic. Talk to more of you on the phones as well. 844-967-2789.
I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
I'm an old man. I'm confused.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food, we're helping to stop food waste. Save the food. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. I couldn't speak or walk.
This is high blood pressure. Get back on your plan. Go to loweryourhbp.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
You are listening to 1510 AM WRRD Waukesha, Milwaukee, and 1580 AM WTTN Columbus, Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network. Have a drink at Regano's Roman Coin. This neighborhood corner tavern is as classic as the street it occupies. Family owned and operated since 1966, Regano's Roman Coin is located in a former Pabst Tide House on historic Brady Street, serving an array of craft beers with a focus on Wisconsin breweries. Also, weekly drink specials, trivia on Wednesdays, seasonal sporting events, parties hosted for all occasions, and pet friendly. Open 11 a.m. Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, closed on Monday. Regano's Roman Coin, Milwaukee's pet friendly, cash only order and classic corner tavern.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Once again, the American public has some reading to do. In a 29-page indictment today, Americans need to take a look at page 6, paragraph 20, and here come those important 8 words: to interfere with the 2016 U.S. presidential election. That is it.
Jim, I'm going to make a confession on behalf of the panel. Dom's not going to read the indictment.
Come on, maybe.
The Devil's Advocates, political commentary from the back of the class.
For Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network, I'm Stu Daniels with your headlines. A new report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum says Wisconsin's largest 25 cities face $2.25 billion in unfunded retiree health care liabilities. And an announcement is expected to be made today about a major economic development by the Foxconn Company in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Sources are saying Foxconn will open a facility of some sort in downtown Eau Claire. And outside this afternoon, sunny with temperatures in the mid-80s, and then clear skies tonight, lows in the low 60s. Sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with highs both days in the mid-70s in Milwaukee and upper 70s in Madison. You're listening to Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network.
The Devil's Advocates. Sausage making never looked so good.
Man, you just ran there because I didn't get a brat this weekend. Dom will not even during the commercial break. Like, come on, man, you ate a brat, right?
It's really, really hard to believe. Like, no, Trump didn't collude with the Russians, and Crudy didn't eat a brat at the brat fry the other day.
You know what was sad? I left the picnic and got lunch. I did eat, just not at the picnic. My $10 got me like 2 cookies and some potato salad, I immediately had second thoughts about eating because this was at like 2 in the afternoon.
Sitting out in the sun.
And the picnic started at like 11. So I stayed the full course. Saw our friend Scott Ross, One Wisconsin Now.
Yeah.
You know, he was wearing on his name tag. See if anyone in the audience gets this. Larry Vaughn.
Larry Vaughn.
Brian, who is Larry Vaughn?
I'm picturing.
If you didn't know, you should.
No, I know. I know.
Acted like you knew.
I know exactly the actor we're talking about here.
Don't worry about the actor's name. Who's the character?
I'm picturing the character, and Larry. Okay, get back to me.
There will be no getting back to Gary.
Thank you for your contribution.
I'm sorry. I know exactly who you're talking about. I know exactly the actor's name.
It was the mayor.
Yes,
of Jaws.
Yes.
And as Scott Ross pointed out, after all the kids got eaten and Jaws won, he got reelected, just like Scott Walker. So, anyways, I did talk to Soglin, and here was Soglin's big plan. You know, I pointed out to him, man. I said, "Why do you want the headwinds of being on my bad side? Why wouldn't you?" Bring yourself down to Brady Street, make a run at the Devil's Advocates radio show. And then I immediately regretted that as well, because, of course, the political window is open and the freebies have closed. And I won't give away all of Paul's secrets, but I completely disagree with his messaging campaign.
There's a shocker.
It's not going to work. Too little, too late. Let's just call his messaging campaign way too little, too late. But anyways, I said, I had thrown the offer out there. I'm like, well, I'll justify some way, get yourself on the front page. We'll definitely have you down. And he said, well, here's the deal. I'm trying to, and I told him Monday, Wednesday, Fridays work best for me. So I was literally trying to schedule Paul Soglin to come down here and get his swing at Brady Street.
Right.
And Paul said, well, I'll come down a day when I can go to the Brewer game afterwards. And I said, you realize it's the All-Star break and the election's 4 weeks away, right? You may not want to wait, sir. May not be able to play that doubleheader, that Devil's Advocates Brewers doubleheader, but at least he's got his priorities.
Hey, a twofer. What about Matt Flynn?
Matt Flynn was there. I did comment. I commented to Tony Evers as well. You know what the comment I heard most about Tony Evers in the WTMJ debate last week?
What?
Televised for an hour.
Had a nice suit on?
Nice suit and a good tan.
Hey, all right.
You know what Tony told me? He said, I got these new glasses a couple of weeks ago. He said, I've gotten more compliments in the last 2 weeks than I have in 20 years.
See?
I said, people like the tortoiseshell, Tony. He's got some nice stylish glasses. Apparently a new suit. And I said, are you using the Trump bronzer? Even Tony had a good giggle.
Was he a little orange, or was he looking?
No.
Like,
I only said that just to harangue Tony, my friend Tony.
you treat your friends very strange.
Matt Flynn was there, had a nice haircut. Kelda Royce gave a speech as well.
Nice haircut. How was Kelda's hair?
Looked fine. I didn't note a great change. I did see her cute little baby.
That is a cute baby.
She does have a cute baby. Everybody wants a picture with Kelda's cute baby. So Kelda gave a little speech, and I was a little distracted, honestly. Tammy Baldwin holding court in the same shelter I was in and couldn't really hear all the Kelda. Did post the video, though. And Matt Flynn gave a speech. I didn't post any video of Matt. No offense to the newly haircutted, finely coiffed Matt Flynn. He does have a fine shock of hair on his head. But
did anybody say anything of substance that we haven't already
No,
talked
these
about
were very brief 90-second
yeah.
speeches like, hey, nice to see all you hardworking Dems. Thanks for all the brats. I'm glad we were able to block Crudy out. That kind of stuff.
Don't give Crudy any brats.
That was pretty much the extent of the speeches. Nothing very, here. And I don't mean to pick on Andy.
But you only have so much time. I understand.
Or, pardon me, Tony. But, Tony did lead with I am the thrice elected front runner. And I'm like, God, Tony, stop. Please, Tony, do me this.
He does have the name recognition.
He's leading in all the polls.
In the one poll, the two polls that were done by the one outfit.
Yes. But it's ironic that none of the four front runners, according to the polling, the exception, Mike McCabe, the only one with the overlapping Venn diagram.
With the Wisconsin
Marquette
chooses,
poll and the Wisconsin chooses. But anyways, I thought to myself, I'm not, ready to jump behind and endorse or support any specific candidate. Yet, I might. I'm considering about endorsing.
Oh, really?
I'd like to maybe throw my weight behind one of the candidates.
And considerable weight it is.
Yes, it is. Think how much more I'd have to throw behind him if I'd only downed a few brats at the Dem picnic.
Well, if you and Brian agree, I think they're a shoo-in.
No, I am strongly considering. I've got a choice with my heart and a choice with my head.
But you're not doing it yet?
Not today.
Okay.
Not offering endorsements today. But in my own head, in Crudy's beautiful little head, my beautiful mind, I was thinking to myself. Self. If I wanted, if there was a debate between Scott Walker and any of the 8 remaining qualified candidates, who would I most want to see Scott Walker debate? Knowing I'm no longer in the field, because I would have kicked his ass.
Well, of course.
But of the 2 remaining, and this is not, I'll just put it to you this way. Paul Soglin, I think he would have that cantankerous old man thing going. I mean, Paul, I think he'd come out swinging. Paul would debate. He would make Scott Walker cry. And truly, who I'd love to see Scott Walker debate, Matt Flynn. The old Navy guy. The old salty Navy guy. Either of those two. I mean, I'm not saying that's ultimately how I want to see the race shake out.
Sure, but just for entertainment purposes.
But talking about entertaining made for radio or television debate, either of those two against Scott Walker. Walker might literally cry.
Well, he might cry. Flynn got a press release out today. Getting in front here, Matt Flynn blasts Scott Walker for meeting with Russian spy. The email says, today, as President Donald Trump betrayed our country in his press conference with Russian President Vladimir Putin, the U.S. Department of Justice arrested Maria Butina, as we've discussed, and charged her with conspiracy to act as a Russian agent. Butina has been in the United States posing as a gun rights activist with the NRA. In 2015, shortly before he launched his failed presidential campaign, Scott Walker met with Butina and allegedly greeted her in Russian. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Matt Flynn released the following statement condemning Trump and Walker for putting Russian interests over American interests. And here is what Mr. Flynn had to specifically say. As I have said since the start of this campaign, Donald Trump is betraying our country to the Russians, and it is destroying our democracy. Scott Walker has betrayed Wisconsin to the Republican donor cartel. Trump is the tip of the spear of Russian military intelligence. He is on the take and blackmailed by the Russians. It is more important than ever before that we have leaders who are ready and willing to stand up to Russia. We need a Democratic governor to protect our liberties from the Trump-Walker axis. When I served in the 6th Fleet in the Navy, we stood up to the Russians, and we have to stand up to them now. I'm ready to defend our state, our country, our Constitution, and our elections from Vladimir Putin and the Russians as governor.
Matt Flynn, that salty old Navy dog. I mean, he does have a fine head of hair, Dom. I am quite envious of Matt Flynn's hair. And he is a trial lawyer. He'd kick Scott Walker's ass in a debate. Scott Walker, if you don't recall, Dom, college dropout.
Yeah, but he could speak Russian, When the comrades come to town, it's just like old habits, like getting on a bike, from his, Russian childhood days? I'm not clear.
Yet.
Joe from Stevens Point, welcome to the show, comrade. What do you got today?
Hey, Joe.
What's up, fellas? So Putin is the reason that the Democrats suck. Do I understand that right?
No. Putin is the reason that America sucks. Actually, America is the reason that Russia and America has such bad relationships, if you believe the tweets of our president. He blamed us today.
Because where is the voter reforms if they did hack the election? Phishing is the biggest thing. The NSA builds backdoors into every single computer. I mean, who are we trying to fool? What's his face? That chump from Hillary Clinton's Podesta got phished. Everybody gets phished. You know, it happens every single day. Nobody's
Yeah,
doing
but
anything about
I understand
it.
that, Joe. But specifically,
Russia
Trump
ain't my
tweeted
enemy.
out today. I mean, he tweeted out today. The reason our relationship is the worst it's ever been until, of course, he met with Putin is because of our stupidity. Now, does that sound like a president defending America, Joe?
You got raped, Joe. You had it coming. You wore a short skirt. That's effectively what the president of the United States said about the American people. It was our fault. We were looking too good in that short skirt.
Okay. We meddled in the Crimea Ukrainian elections. You know, nobody says.
Aren't you talking about Paul Manafort right now, Joe?
Where I'm talking, what are the reforms? I'm not going to have fainting spells over Russia. Where are the reforms? What are we going to do because of the knowledge? Is it just fainting spells 24/7, 365, or what is it?
Well, what knowledge specifically do you think we have now acquired, Joe, that our president is somehow under the influence of Russian dictator Vladimir Putin? Do you accept that as knowledge now?
Well, basically, you know what? After 2 years of chasing things around and, you know, at the end of the day, Trump is still president. He's the biggest chump in the world. And we have made that chump competitive by offering nothing. What, yesterday it was children in cages. What is it today?
Well, I still like, as far as
nothing.
immigration
the Democrats
policy.
bring nothing to the table.
Well, what the Democrats, what I would imagine, Joe, is what any Democrat would bring to the table is that they wouldn't work with Vladimir Putin behind the scenes to subvert the American electoral system, Joe. Come on. What do you...
I will not betray America. I will not treasonously conspire with a foreign power
first rule,
to attack the U.S. elections.
Do no damage, Joe. That's the first rule. So I would hope that, Democrats, and I would think maybe even some Republicans would do no damage, but certainly appreciate your input, Joe.
Here's what Senate candidate Leah Vukmir had to say today, according to Scott Bauer at the Associated Press. A direct quote. It's clear that Russia is no friend to the U.S., but President Trump is a great negotiator, and I trust him to engage with whomever is necessary to secure a safe and prosperous future for our country. I have no doubt that he did that today.
Really? Because Newt Gingrich, also a Republican, Crudy, tweeted out that President Trump must clarify his statements in Helsinki on our intelligence system and Putin. It is the most serious mistake of his presidency and must be corrected, ... immediately.
I'm not sure if our friend Joe from Stevens Point was implying like we Democrats are wasting our time, that we're spinning our wheels and that this is getting us nowhere. I'm not clear if that was the point he was making, but I would say ultimately the Mueller report is coming out and it will go to Rosenstein first. It will not immediately go to the American people, but it will be damning. Every day, you can't say there's no there. 12 indictments over the weekend. Another indictment of a Russian spy who had associations with Scott Walker, and that's not even part of the Mueller investigation CNN is reporting. That's just a different Russian spy trying to influence the outcome of the American elections. Like there's multiple fronts. So yeah, I would say, I don't know if you saw, I watched Showtime last night, the new Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny in light of Trump today, but last night I thought the show, not funny. It was horrible. What a build-up for a not funny show. But the part that I did watch that I thought did have some humor.
Was it not funny, or was it just like a little too disturbing because of how real and how easy these guys roll over?
Well, the beginning part, they trolled, they got Bernie Sanders, and the guy kept saying stuff that didn't make any sense. And, Bernie would say, well, what's your proposition then? And, and then Bernie kind of gave the camera the eye, like, I don't know what this man's talking about. And I'm thinking, well, that's not funny. And then later in this episode, they had this gun rights activist, and they talked about arming children, younger and younger children, because, the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good
baby.
Boy with a gun.
A baby with a gun.
A toddler, down to 3, not the terrible 2s.
Oh, okay, but a toddler.
But then they lined up a series of Republican elected lawmakers or former lawmakers that were willing to come out and read a script effectively for this Arm the 3-year-old program, kindergartens, like kindergartens, something of that sort. I mean, and there was some humor there. Even Joe Walsh, my Fox News talk radio co-panelist, former Republican Congressman Joe Walsh. Well, Joe Walsh got sucked in hook, line, and sinker.
Was he advocating for 3-year-olds having guns?
Yes, he read the script. He did so very emphatically, like he was down for it.
Well,
and even today, Joe Walsh, as Fancy Brian pointed out, Joe Walsh turned on Trump today. Joe Walsh said, my president is a traitor. He got fooled by Ali G, by Borat, but he can see through this. He sees the treasonous nature of the president of the United States. And let's not forget, Scott Walker reportedly had associations with a charged, arrested Russian spy. She was at his campaign launch in Waukesha. She was greeted by the man in Russian, in the mother language.
Made her feel right at home.
Do you think any of the Wisconsin press will press Scott Walker on the issue of Maria Butina?
I do.
Do you think he will answer? Do you think
there
will be follow-up questions? Do you think he can get away with saying, I'm state and local, that's more of a federal issue?
That's what he'll say. I don't know if he can get away with it.
Come back with us. We are the Devil's Advocates. You never get off the hook round here. 844-967-2789. Although we will hang up on you if you don't make any sense.
The intelligence community, that's of the United States of America.
Evil losers.
And yes, losers. They are losers.
I'm Andy Buck, field representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPAT DC7
for all ages and instrument repair of the highest quality. JeffsGuitar.com.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The Devil's Advocates.
My Congresswoman, Gwen Moore.
I think that you guys are filling a very important space. I think African Americans consume radio at a very high rate, and they really rely on radio for information. And so, word of warning to all those candidates out there, don't ignore these inexpensive ways to advertise.
Well, wait until we get our FM. They're going to get more expensive all the time.
Radio for the 99%.
Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We've got a patented system. We also do another step that most people don't do. We have a double rotating brush machine that we use when we pre-treat the carpet. So this helps dig up any of that stuff that's deeper in your carpet that the vacuum doesn't get. We're going to provide that intermediary step before we clean with our empowered water.
Call Zero Res today, 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
Have you outgrown your house? Are you sick of apartment living? Not ready to buy, but know you need to move? Hi, folks. This is Tom Hartman for CCL Management in Middleton. You should consider moving up to one of the finer rental homes CCL Management represents. Unique houses and condos, always clean. Most are pet-friendly. Visit cclmanagement.com today to find your new home. CCL Management, Dane County's premier leasing and property management company.
Call CCL Management at 833-0009. That's 833-0009. Or visit cclmanagement.com today.
Every hiring manager knows that a company is only as good as the people it's made from. So where do you find the best people? That may surprise you.
Meet the grads of life. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
This is talent worth knowing about.
Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachdfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
I'm Jesse Pica-Holz with Solidarity Realty. If you're looking for a home in Madison or Dane County, call me. I know Madison. I know homes. I'll protect your best interests. Call Solidarity Realty at 608-284-9311 or search solidarityrealty.com.
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling devil's advocates.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Trying to get back to the phones, but momentarily I want to read from the body of an opinion piece written by Kevin Nicholson. You know, he's running in the state of Wisconsin for U.S. Senate. I'm running for Senate as a Republican. My Democratic parents are furious. They're backing my opponent. I'm not clear. I would have put this over at the Fox News, but anyways. Here's what he writes. My parents have since turned their back on me, my wife, their grandchildren, and their extended family. Adding to this, they decided to make the maximum contribution to my Democratic opponent in my campaign for U.S. Senate in Wisconsin, an intentional personal blow that made headlines across the country. It was deliberate, and it was a true representation of the intolerance of the political philosophy that stands on the false platform of tolerance.
What?
He's calling his parents intolerant.
Maybe they just believe that what you espouse as political norms are, in fact, wrong for the country and don't want you or those thoughts elected to the Senate. Maybe that's it?
I don't enjoy talking about this highly personal experience, but as I see the hashtag walkaway movement gain momentum, I feel compelled to share my story. As walkaway grows, conservatives need to reach out to those who raised to believe in a Democratic Party and a liberal political philosophy that does nothing to make them more successful. Now, no criticism of Nicholson for the president today, Dom, but the walkaway movement, that's mostly being pushed by Russian bots.
And
there is no walkaway movement. You're the only one, Kevin Nicholson.
And he hashtagged it out?
And he's hashtagging it in a Fox News piece right after he tells the fine Republican conservative audience, even my parents don't like me. They'd rather walk away from their folks. Thank you, Sarah Lloyd, co-chair of Our Wisconsin Revolution. Go vote in the Wisconsin Chooses, at least if you're willing to do the hard work. Sorry about you guys waiting on the phones. We'll get to you next. I'm sure Dom will remember in the exact precise order. Just call us up. Thanks for listening. We'll do it all again tomorrow. This is the Devil's Advocates on Wisconsin's Resistance Radio Network.
Strong, powerful. I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media. Very powerful.
Hi, I'm Becky with Bounce Milwaukee, a progressive, local, family-owned entertainment center. We just want to remind you what it's like to be a kid again. Come on in for all ages fun. Bounce in our giant inflatables, race up the rock wall, dominate your friends in laser tag, or just relax in our bar or our massage chairs. Open 6 days a week with extended adult-only weekend hours. Find us at bouncemilwaukee.com.
Scott Walker thinks Wisconsin should once again hire him as governor.
You wouldn't hire me to be a neurosurgeon.
This is a person who has not worked in the private sector since